Let's do this. FT Live. Scott Braun, AJ Pierzynski. LoCain is back. Always wondering where on the map is LoCain.
That's why he has the big map behind him so you can find him.
Exactly. No, I know where he is. I like the map behind him. LoCain, how you doing? And I actually wanted to start this way. So I was thinking about you this weekend when the Brewers were swept by the A's. More just wondering, what would LoCain say in the clubhouse? Would you be like, damn, and make a joke about it? Like, we suck so bad, we lost to the team that's owner's not trying? Or would you be more of the serious tone, like, guys, we got to get our shit together?
No, I knowing me, I would joke around and say, hey, we need to figure something out, guys. Hey, I know we just got swept by the A's, but at the same time, I know that's a talented group. I know they can bounce back, but they're playing against a hot team right now. The A's are swinging it. They're locked in right now. And as we know, when you get hot in baseball, you can be very dangerous.
Yeah, and we're going to get into their reverse protest that AJ loves later.
Dude, they won 6 in a row. They beat the Rays last night.
They're playing ball right now. Joe Sheehan's going to join us. He's been covering this team.
Deserves so much credit.
Should he get a bonus?
I mean, he's not going to, but he should get a better job.
They're probably going to call him, hey, Mark, we spent too much on the court hearings where we're trying to get money from the city. We'd like to defer your salary to $20.88.
Did you see where they're spending $250K a day in Las Vegas because they couldn't figure out the settlement for the stadium? So now they had to go into extra time with the Senate or whatever. And now they're $250K a day. And they can't make they can't figure out if they want to bring the A's or not.
Well, when you're trying to get a city to cover hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, $250K a day is nothing for the billionaire owner. Just saying.
I agree, but man, if I live there, I'm a little bit I don't know. It feels like a waste of money. If they don't want the A's, just say we don't want the A's.
Oh, you're saying the city?
The city is
the
it?
City,
not the team. If it was the team, I'd be like, who cares?
I would say, why would we even go one day doing that? That should be on the team.
The city, well, because they have a bill they have to vote on, and they're deadlocked, so they can't figure out if they want to pass it or not. So, and it was at the end of the session, and they ended the session, so they had to go into overtime. And then when they come back, they still have to vote on it. And it's $250K a day.
That's so unfair
for them to run this to try to vote on the A's, and clearly they don't want the A's.
But also the spending there, when you think about where else it could be spent. That's
a whole different topic. But.
Yeah. So Joe Sheehan's going to join us. Rowdy Tellez is back, and Ken Rosenthal in 20 minutes.
Okay, so LoCain, you didn't play with Rowdy, did you?
No, I played with him. I was there he was there my last year.
So you did play with him?
Yeah.
Did he lie about you? Because he's like Scott. I don't know if you've been paying attention, but Scott
AJ lies every day, and then he tries to blame me for it.
So
he'll
Scott
be like, "Oh, I'm not." He'll be like, "Ellie De La Cruz, like pump the brakes," and then he's playing well, and he's like, "I didn't say anything about him."
Watch the tape.
AJ, all of this is recorded.
Watch the tape,
just
Scott.
Be careful. I'm just saying.
I'm saying watch the tape.
Watch TikTok. They were freaking out at you and Kratzy. They were like, "Why don't you guys just let him play?" Well, you got to go on TikTok. See what they said. Don't call me a liar. It's on TikTok. And I was like, Lee. And they're like,
yeah, we all did that.
For once, Braun's right.
We all were excited about Ellie. Ellie's been great.
Were you excited, LoCain?
Oh, not Yelly. Rowdy, he loves to, he exaggerates a little bit, but, he might add a few more things to the story that shouldn't be there. But, overall, he's a great dude, man. He's hilarious. He's great for that clubhouse, man. He's a great teammate to be around. So I'm excited for him to get on here.
That's his professional shtick, though. He'll go up.
He's like you. He's lying. He's a professional liar.
That's you. You
should have won the poker tournament.
Your shtick is lying.
You're a professional liar.
I was good at bluffing at the poker tournament.
You're a professional liar.
I won maybe 12 of the first 30 hands that I was playing, and 10 of them were bluffs.
Because you're a professional liar.
Dude next to me was like, you're a vacuum. And I was like, these people at the table are soft. Like, they don't go in on any hands. And then I realized what the table was like. They don't get in on any hands unless they have pocket aces. I'm like, how soft is that? Have you played poker?
No. We
talked about what I'm talking about.
I mean, I know what you're talking about, but I got
imagine if 1 out of 50 hands you go in because you're like, oh, unless I have the very tippy top hand, I'm not going to go in. That's soft.
I just go in all in the first 5 hands, and I'm like, well, I'm either going to win or I'm going to lose.
Right. And then if you win, you do it again. And eventually you're going to lose because you can't do that 100 times.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, let's charge the
mound.
mound.
I have to sit there for 12 straight hours. My back.
Well, that's your loss. Then you can't play with us.
Good point.
You can get massages during it. You can lay down. You can stand up. It's actually a very luxurious experience. I just put a post up about it. Charging the mound. JT Realmuto had a cycle, and included in this cycle is like a bonus part. Single, double, triple, homer, argument with other manager.
Here's the thing for this. I know it's great. Congratulations, JT. And he's like, the 16th catcher all time to hit for a cycle, I think it was.
Yep.
Benji Molina hit for a cycle. That's all I'm saying. Big drop.
Benji Molina wasn't the world's worst hitter.
He was the slowest runner.
Oh, you're saying on the triple?
And he got a triple.
Yes. In
Fenway.
And JT Realmuto is one of the faster catchers we've seen in a while.
Yeah, he went homer triple to get the hard ones out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
And in the last one, when he hit it, I thought it was going to be a homer and hit the very top of the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And then him and Torey Lovullo before in about third inning got into a fight because Corbin Carroll, Bob Nightingale said won Rookie of the Year, so they were pissed that he already won it, so they threw at him and hit him.
Well, Corbin Carroll is going to win Rookie of the Year, LoCain. So Bob was just ahead of his time.
Good pick.
Good pick.
Oh.
I think we all picked Corbin Carroll, didn't we?
No, somebody picked Senga.
One person.
Todd in his New York love picked Senga.
Todd picked Senga.
LoCain, who'd you pick for Rookie of the Year?
Was it what's the pitcher from the Mets?
Senga.
Yeah,
yes. You're out.
That's what I picked. But yeah. I think he's having an outstanding season right now. So we'll see. Corbin Carroll also is, been lights out. So, hey, we'll see. A race to the finish, I guess.
Would you hit Corbin Carroll if you didn't want to face him?
No, because then he steals all the face.
No, and that's the point. So let's get to that because he was hit by a pitch in his first two ABs, right, by Matt Strahm. They were close, though. They did not look intentional if you're watching games on a daily basis. And let's show the benches clearing, and then we can go over some quotes.
Oh, we got hit again in the hands. Got hit the arm first at bat, hand this time. And that'll put runners on first and second. I would think the Phillies will start to get somebody up.
I'm not quite sure why Torey Lovullo is out there right now. I'm not quite sure what he could be arguing about.
JT's trying to tell him, listen, that's not intentional.
Come on, Torey.
I think Vic Carapaza's saying the same thing. He's thrown out of the game.
Ridiculous. He thinks he's throwing him in on purpose?
And now Torey's yelling at Rob.
Now he's yelling at Rob? He better be careful.
Benches are going to clear as they'll get Lovullo out. Kyle Schwarber saying something.
Listen, I totally get protecting your player, but this has gotten to the point where it's a little ridiculous. There is no reason at all that they would try to hit this guy.
Yeah, and I understand that he's been hit two at bats in a row. But I think if you watch the game, you can see that Strahm tries to come in, and sometimes it tails in.
Okay, so I'll read quotes. You can throw the Nightingale tweet up there, not the one AJ is referring to, the other one with Rob Thompson, the manager of the Phillies, while I read JT Realmuto, who was a little bit face-to-face with Torey Lovullo. But here's Thompson on the third inning benches clearing incident. No way were we trying to hit him and put one of the fastest guys in baseball on base. That's not me. That's not our club. And Realmuto said, I think it looked a little worse on video than it actually was because he wasn't challenging me at all. He wasn't saying anything derogatory. He was just backing his player up. At one point, he was saying, I would do the same thing for you. If you were on my team, I'd back you up too, and pointing at my chest. It looked like he was saying something bad to me, but he really wasn't. He was just defending his player.
Don't care.
Don't care.
Don't get in another player's face. It ain't your job. You worry about your own team. You don't need to go up to the other dude. And if you read his lips, it don't look like he was saying that. So good job, JT, because you hit a cycle. You're all happy. You guys won. So woo-hoo, go Phillies. But if another manager comes up to me, they lost?
They lost 10-9.
Oh, never mind.
Clemens 2-out, 2-run home run, reverse.
I turned it off after he hit the cycle. They were leading. So my bad.
They lost 9-8.
Sarah Langs. Whee!
Yes.
Diamondbacks win every game, so I should have guessed. But if I'm playing and the other team's manager comes out low and is like, I don't give a flying, you know what he's saying. Like, dude, you worry about your own damn team. You don't need to involve me in this. if he says something to me, then it's go. Like you're pointing your finger in my face like I'm your little child. Listen, I'm a grown man. That's when, and JT, I give him credit because he just kind of stood there and was laughing. But that's why the bench is clear. It wasn't because Torrey was yelling. It was because he put his finger in JT's face. Dude, you don't do that to another team. You just don't.
You caught for a long time if that was you.
No, Then it becomes the next, which it did.
Yeah.
And JT actually did a good job of stepping back and saying, all right, I'm going to laugh about this. But man, like I played for Torrey. Torrey's a good dude. But you don't go out there and I don't care whatever he was saying, whatever they said he was saying. Like you don't need to talk about the other team. You get in the umpire's face.
But JT did go up to him first. A little bit he intervened, and that's when Torrey went back. But you got to be the manager. You're saying,
yeah,
and back up.
You're supposed to be the bigger man, the smarter man.
And if you're the manager, you have someone to pick on. It's Vic Carapazzo. You get to go to the ump.
You got 4 of them. You yell.
Right, any ump you can go have a time with.
But I just love when the bullpen guys go. By the time they get there, they're so damn out of breath. Even if there was a fight, they ain't doing nothing because they're so tired.
Is that a hack? If you're in a benches clearing brawl, go after a reliever because they've already run a mile to get to you.
Yes, they're all exhausted. And as a catcher, you're supposed to leave your mask on.
Right.
Because if they try and hit you, you got a mask on. At least they got to try to hit you from behind. But that's why you saw Veritek when he got an A-Rod's face. Guess what? Mask on. Fight me and
break your hand.
And try. And then A-Rod doinked him. But, I mean, if you're the catcher, dude, put your mask on. Let's go.
Lo, your thoughts on the whole situation? So you saw JT goes up to Torrey, and I agree. I mean, both are really nice guys. They're not the first guys that are trying to pick fights. And so that's why when I was watching it live, I was like, man, this is going to turn into anything. If this is a certain manager and a certain catcher, it could actually incite a lot more.
Yeah. Yeah, great job. Great job on JT for staying composed right there, man. Because like AJ said, when another man is putting his hand in your face, that you're telling me it's time. It's go time, basically. But as a guy who faced Strom and I played with Strom, he's effectively wild. Sometimes he doesn't know where it's going. I don't think he intentionally hit him. But at the same time, the situation happened. You love for your manager to take up for your team, but not in that way.
So if you're like LoCain's running in from center field, like he's tired by the time he gets in there. That's the guy you hit, right? I had to run 350 feet. I'm tired. Meanwhile, the catcher and the pitcher right there. Let's go.
Let me get a cup of water before we start.
Exactly.
Yeah, but LoCain's probably in better shape than some of the relievers. Fair. Yeah. Fair. He's running him down.
He's also faster, so he's going to get there first. But...
True. Yeah, I'm not as worried. Like if I'm not picking on Low versus middle reliever out in the outfield who had to run further and is not running baseballs down all day like it's his job.
Well, plus most of the relievers are sitting there like with their feet up in the bullpen. Oh man, I don't pitch till the 7th.
I'm not warmed up.
It's only the 3rd inning. Oh my God! Wake up! Let me get up from my nap and go run all the way to home plate. Yeah. Then they get there and they don't even know what planet they're on because half of them were sleeping at the time.
So basically all of this, not that big of a deal, but a big deal. The biggest problem is if you're the manager, even if a player comes up and says something, just go to the ump and handle your business.
He said something to me.
Mm-hmm.
And Vic Carapazzo, he had Torrey Lovello.
Of course.
I think we need more fights. Let's go.
We do get, I would say, maybe 1 or 2 benches clearing situations per week, but they're complete nothings.
Yeah, like this. Nobody even said it. If you play that back and you watch the 2 teams when they come together, nobody even talks to the other. They're just Schwarber standing there like this, and you have Sosa. It was like the 2 guys for the Phillies were Sosa and Schwarber, and then everyone's kind of behind them, and then you have the umpires, and then you have the D-backs on one side and the Phillies, and you have Schwarber and Sosa in the middle, and Schwarber's like, someone come. Everyone's like, okay, no, thank you.
Also, don't you think, half of rosters are league minimum guys. They probably don't want to get suspended for throwing punches.
No, you don't think about that at that moment.
Not even the rookies?
No. If you're in it, you're in it. You're in it to win it.
Then why doesn't it happen anymore?
Because everyone knows each other. Everyone likes each other. Everyone has the same agent.
That's not true, though. Everyone likes each other. I feel like you talk to players all the time, and they're like, "Oh, I just don't want to be with that guy," or "Don't set me up with that guy. I don't like him."
I don't
Not
know.
as much as it used to be.
It's more friendly than it used to be.
You switch teams a lot more than you used to.
True.
And you don't. There's just not. I know that we try to build up Red Sox, Yankees, and Giants, Dodgers, but it's kind of gone there because they're different teams every year. Now, when you had like Manny, David, Veritek, Pedro on the Red Sox, and you had the Pettit, Jeter, Posada, Mariano, Bernie on the Yankees, and they played against each other for 15 plus years, all of them. Guess what? Boom! You see poor Don Zimmer getting thrown across the field, right?
Mm-hmm.
But nowadays, guys go from Yankees to Red Sox to Mets to Rays to Twins to Guardians to A's to White Sox to whatever, Brewers.
I think there's more fights in the seats.
Depends on what game you're at.
Yeah.
I'm saying Yankees, Red Sox,
100%.
Giants, Dodgers,
100%.
those kind of games. If you want to see fights, that's where they're at, not on the field.
Royals, White Sox.
Royals, White Sox.
You got dudes running on the field trying to fight the first base coach.
I remember that. Yeah, that was bad.
That was horrible.
Yeah.
Royals and White Sox, we cleared a couple times with those punks.
Yeah, Low?
No, Low wasn't there yet.
I mean, I wasn't there, but I've been in scrums. I've been in fights where it's been, it's very serious and everybody's mad at each other. But also, I've been in fights where we all get there and everyone's joking around. So honestly, who knows anymore? It just depends how much hatred you have for that team, basically.
Yeah, nobody hates anybody.
Yeah.
My favorite fight story is Jim Thome, who's like the nicest guy in the world. Real Cormier was pitching to hit him, and they were like literally best friends. But they had a thing: if Cormier hit somebody, they have to go get him. He happened to hit Jim Thome. Jim Thome charged him out. And they went to dinner after the game.
After fighting each other, exchanged punches.
After Jim charged him out, I don't know if there was any punches, but Jim ran after him, and then they went to dinner after the game.
Wow, that's good.
So that just shows you.
Did people know that at the time?
I don't think
or was that like a secretive dinner? Like, hey, we're friends, but we can't let everyone know because we just.
It's not like wrestling.
Where
you can't have like Hulk Hogan and Iron Sheik go to dinner together. It's not like that.
Is that true?
Is
that in the contract when you sign up for WWE?
It used to be. It's together. Changed now.
Yeah, people know.
It used to be like, remember way back, everyone thought it was really real.
Yeah.
Right? So they really thought the Iron Sheik and Hulk Hogan were like mortal enemies. They're probably going out all the time. There was no camera phones.
Right. Couldn't get caught. It was just word of mouth. Someone would be like, hey, I saw those two eating dinner. No,
not true.
Way.
No.
Probably lookalikes.
Yeah. Stunt doubles.
Stunt double.
All right, let's get to Ohtani too for a few minutes before Kenny Rosenthal joins us. So 2 more homers. I was reading the Athletic windup this morning, that email, and they've got his numbers, Ohtani from 2021, and then his 2023 pace. So 2021, he had 257. 2023 is at 291. 2021, he had 46 homers. 2023, he's on pace for 48. And he drove in 121. He's at on pace for 119 in 2023. His ERA in 2021, when he won MVP, was 3.18. Right now, it's 3.32, and he's actually been slipping a little bit lately. But numbers-wise, he's on a very similar trajectory to be MVP. And in my mind, Lo, unless you have a season like Aaron Judge from a year ago, which already is near impossible to happen again, because Aaron's hurt again, and you're not seeing anyone else match that, then as long as Ohtani stays healthy, we're not going to have to spend a lot of time in the offseason doing like the fake debates of like, who should win AL MVP? We just go, Ohtani. All right, let's move on to the next topic.
Yeah. I mean, he's done a little bit of everything. I mean, he's hands down. To me, right now, the best player in baseball. He can throw it, he can hit it, he can run, he can do everything. So he's a player that's fun to watch. I agree with your assessment on that. For me, he keeps rolling, keeps swinging the bat, keeps pitching, and doing a little bit of everything. He's my MVP as well.
Okay. Best player. We're not going to get into an argument because he's going to win. Unless something crazy happens, he's going to win because everyone's in love with him, and he's the best player going right now.
And they're competing right now. I mean, the Angels are actually on a
he's
little
the
run.
best player going right now. Hands down. The best player in baseball. There's not an argument in anybody. Best player. You mentioned Aaron Judge. What has happened to the Yankees since Aaron Judge got hurt? Remember what happened last year when he didn't hit in the playoffs? What'd they do?
Yeah.
So if you take Ohtani out of the Angels,
they're terrible.
Okay, but they ain't made the playoffs since 2012, right?
Mm-hmm.
So valuable. It's not best player. The best player is Ohtani. Hands down, not even close to anybody else. Most valuable to their team, though, with a team that has a chance to win, hopefully go to the playoffs, is Aaron Judge. He's not going to win the award. He won it last year. He should have won it last year. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if we go by the word of the award,
Sure.
then Aaron Judge is more valuable than Shohei Ohtani.
But you understand
to his team.
Agreed. But you understand it does consider multiple factors. Because here, let me just give you an example. I agree with what you're saying, right? Aaron Judge is the most needed player on his team. Right? So if Aaron Judge though misses 4 months and the Yankees don't make the playoffs, but the months that he's there, they're like, an 800 winning percentage. He's the MVP for playing 2 months of the season.
No, I'm not. No.
Right. So
Ohtani's going to win.
You're not talking about Ohtani the award. You're talking about just how much a team needs a singular player.
If you go off most valuable player.
What I'm just trying to not protect you from is you're saying MVP, which is a debate often, right? During that conversation, the word valuable matters. Mm-hmm. Okay. But if you see a player out for a significant period of time, that doesn't mean he should win the award.
No.
You know what I'm saying? You're just saying, look how much they suck without player X.
Exactly.
Which I will also, and I agree, but I will also make the case, if Ohtani's not on the Angels, they lose 90 games.
They've lost 90 games the last couple of years, haven't they?
Close.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
He's been on the team.
Yeah.
Every season's different, but yes.
See my side of it?
Sure.
And I'm not arguing Ohtani's going to win.
He should win.
He should win. Yeah. Listen, he's the best player. He's better than Mike Trout. And everyone for every years was like Mike Trout, and they didn't do anything with him.
You know what you're saying? I think it's different from the award, though. What you're saying, in my mind, has to do with one team relying on a single player.
Valuable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
To his team.
Yeah.
Is Aaron Judge. Is there another player that you can think of in baseball when he goes down that the team goes whoom?
And Lo, to me, that has just as much to do with the way the Yankees are built. They've actually built themselves so Judge focused, and the players even say that. Tommy Kahnle said that to us yesterday. A player said the other day, maybe Judge shouldn't have run into the wall to make that catch, as sick as it was, because their offense goes into the toilet when he's gone. And in the second half of last season, if he's not who he was, historically good, they probably don't even make the playoffs. They were collapsing. And look back at the second half numbers for the Yankees offensive players. There's like 2 guys that were above league average.
Well, I have a quick question. Well, as far as, like you said, valuable, because, for instance, the Angels are not the best pitching team in the world. Also, they're not the best offense in the world. So Ohtani does both. Would you not consider him more valuable than Judge because he's pitching and hitting?
No, I do. I think to his team, yes. If you go strictly off WAR and you go off statistics, 100%. Like I've said, Ohtani's the best player.
Okay.
And I am not arguing that at all. Okay. I'm just saying if you go off the wording, maybe they should change the wording on the award to the best damn player, because he's the best damn player in the world. I don't think anyone will debate that.
Yeah, but if Judge misses 2 months of a season,
he's out.
It doesn't matter anyway.
Exactly. Which he's already missed.
Ohtani still is incredibly valuable to his team. His team has a chance to make the playoffs. And we're looking at Sarah Lang's 20-plus homer hit, 100-plus strikeouts as a pitcher, single season in MLB history. Obviously, Ohtani's doing the Babe Ruth kind of thing where he's just setting his own records. But this team has a chance.
They do.
As a wild card. So, they're 5.5 out of first right now.
Phil Nevin's been great for him since he's come over.
Yep.
Neto's been great since he's come up.
Yep.
Their bullpen's much improved. Their starters have been much – I mean, they're better than what they were.
Yeah, but it's not great.
It's not great. Yeah. Their offense, if they get Rendon back, maybe they sometime, but he's always hurt now. I don't know.
Yeah, not reliable anymore.
Not reliable.
And to me, like Sandoval, who I really like when he's on, he's not the same this year. His stuff's down. He's not striking anyone out.
They're still there. They're listen, at least they're in the conversation.
Yes, they are.
Because in the last 5-10 years, listen, it turns to June. You're like, okay, the Angels are out of it. What's Trout going to do? Is he going to win MVP? Is Ohtani going to win MVP? And then that was, the precedent was set for me with the MVP. I think it was, we already talked about A-Rod. A-Rod, when he won back when he was with Texas and they lost like 100 games, but he had a great year and people were like, oh, MVP, he had the best numbers. Well, he might have been the best player, but there were other players that did more for their particular team to help them get to the postseason. And for me, and this is just me, and I don't care, come at me, whatever you want to do, but I'm just saying that for me, when I say valuable, is there a guy in 2003 when I was with the Twins, we were not very good the first half. We were kind of 500-ish. We traded, got Shannon Stewart. He was incredible the second half. We went to the postseason. It was because of him. He lit a spark in us, was unbelievably good, and he finished in the top 5 for MVP. He probably should have won it that year. I don't even remember who won it, but he should have been in the – and he was in the conversation because of what he did when he came over. That was value to our team, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when I look at most valuable player, to me, I know playoffs don't matter. Then make a different award for the best player and then have MVP for the most valuable team because playoffs do matter. Wins don't matter to you. I get it. Starting pitcher, I know.
No. Wins matter. Team wins matter.
Okay, yes. So who helps me get the most wins?
Selfish starting pitching wins that have so many other factors.
You got 5 guys that win 20, you win 100. I'm just saying.
Never happens, but okay.
But I'm just saying. You have 5 starting pitchers that win 20 games. Well, that's 100 wins.
If I have 5
right?
players that hit 100 homers, then my team's going to be sick too. Let's just make up stats. You know what? There's someone who wants to debate you, and he's been dying to talk to you.
He does not.
But you keep canceling on him. Last week, he was here, and then you were out because you had to deal with all the smoke up north. Ken Rosenthal joining us right now. Ken, jump right in. How are you?
Scott, I'm good. And listening to that conversation and trying to jump in, I kind of felt like I was doing a Fox broadcast with AJ when I'm sitting there jumping up and down, raising my hand, and AJ just keeps going on and on and on with his points. But hey, AJ, there's a couple things I want to say here.
Well, first of all, Ken, if you jump, no one notices. Second of all,
all right, here we go.
You're in the dugout, and half the time all we can see is your hands.
He had his jokes
jump,
ready.
yell. I do a lot of different things.
And then second of all, I was in New York, and Ken left. So, I mean, who's ducking who?
AJ, I'm not ducking you. I'm trying to engage you right here. Now, here's the thing. With MVP, AJ, I'm with you. I generally prefer the MVP to come from a contender. But let me read you the criteria. Not that anyone pays attention to this, but we are, as voters, sent criteria. And it says very clearly, there's no clear-cut definition of what most valuable means. And it also says the MVP need not come from a division winner or other playoff qualifier. The criteria are actual value of a player to his team. That is strength of offense and defense. Ohtani does both. Number of games played, general character, disposition, whatever. That stuff is intangible. So voters generally can interpret this however they want to interpret it. But in Ohtani's case, the argument that his team stinks, and any argument about any player against him because his team is not as good, over the years I've gotten, I guess, softer on that because it's not his fault. And yes, you can't take Judge off the Yankees and not expect the Yankees to see a significant decline. But it is the same with Ohtani. And right now, actually, he's in the middle of their surge. His offensive surge here has coincided with the team playing better. So really a strong case can be made for why he would be the MVP if we had the vote right now. And Scott's right. Obviously, if Judge misses a couple of months or even a month, it changes the equation considerably. If Ohtani doesn't stay healthy himself, it changes the equation considerably. But this guy's value, I know he could win it every year, and some fans complain about that, but I don't know that we should underappreciate what he's doing. It's unbelievable.
So, WAR is the stat all you scribes use all the time. Judge has a higher WAR than Ohtani right now.
Is it hitting and pitching?
According to Aiden, our researcher,
You better be right, Aiden.
Fangraphs has Judge at 2.8 and Ohtani at 2.3 right now. So who's more valuable?
2.3 hitting and pitching combined?
Yeah, that's what he was. He
okay.
says he believes so.
Believe it or not, AJ, I'm not sitting here with the WAR chart in front of me because I don't consult it daily.
Liar,
but
Scott.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me anyway. I'm not a WAR guy when it comes to MVP voting. There are so many other things that go into it. But one, I have a hard time believing that. And two, look at his season. And frankly, the one thing that's interesting about his season, we keep talking about the strikeouts. His ERA is up nearly a run from last year. And that's something they're working on right now. He's got a 4.88 ERA in his last 8 starts. And he has mentioned the idea that fatigue is coming into play here because he is not part of a 6-man rotation, a strict one, this season. They've gone more to a 5-man version, and they're talking now about going back to 6 to give him more rest, to let him be who he has been on the mound.
Does that affect them, though, in the long term? Because they have 6 quality starters. They really, barely might have. I mean, they have 5, but are they quality guys, Ken? Anderson's kind of struggled for him. Sandoval struggled for him.
No doubt. And AJ, it's difficult to put together a 6-man rotation now. But if you want to maximize Ohtani and prevent him from wearing down, it might be the way to go. And they've done it before, and they've been okay. So this would be a challenge for them. And maybe they have to add a starter at the deadline to kind of give that cushion that is missing right now.
I've got his Baseball Reference WAR for batting at 2.2, so it's probably higher if you give me another second for pitching on top
Take
of
that second, Scott, because I didn't buy that stat. I didn't buy that.
Yeah, pitching for Baseball Reference at 1.7. So then
3.9.
Yeah, 3.9.
Okay.
That's
fair. That's fair. I can only go off what
he
people
has.
tell me.
He has. No, I know. He's
always going to win that battle.
3.5.
If this is a war derby, Scott, if this is a war derby, he's going to win every year. Yes. That is not the question. And last year, I thought it was a very fair debate. I thought there was no wrong choice between him and Judge. Judge had an amazing year. Ohtani had an amazing year. It just comes down to your preference. And in that case, I leaned toward Judge because he did play for a contending team and because he had such value to that contending team. And to me, and Lorenzo can speak about this, there is a difference between playing for a contender, the intensity of that in September, and playing for a team that's out of contention. It's just not the same. I know it's Major League Baseball. I get it. And all teams have the ability to win on any day. But when you're playing for a contender, to me, there is an elevated level of pressure that doesn't exist later in the season when you're playing for a non-contender.
So on the topic of contender, the Oakland A's have won 6 games in a row.
They're a contender.
Stop. But they were your dudes of the week on Fair Territory this week, deservedly so. And I love how you make sure that you are very clear that you are talking about the team. Ownership is a separate category. Perfect timing because today is a holiday. It's the reverse protest. I cannot wait to see the pictures and videos in some places where they actually cover it and they show us all of the pictures and videos, which will mostly probably be social media. So what are your thoughts on the team and also what's going to happen tonight, which does show the power of fans and social media to come together and say, hey, let's actually get this place kind of filled up today. We're going to do orchestrated chants, like sell the team during certain periods. And they're all going to wear those like very basic sell shirts that they raised thousands and thousands of dollars for to be able to hand out to fans that walk into the ballpark.
First of all, the team, Scott, I made them dudes of the week because the players, the staff, manager Mark Kotsay, what they've been going through is awful. And I detailed it all on Fair Territory, why I thought that. But sometimes we lose sight of the fact that these guys are doing their best and they're short. We all know they're short, but there are reasons for that. So that's why I made them dudes of the week. Now, as for tonight, which is, yes, a holiday, and it's one of the cooler days of the year, in my opinion, in baseball, because this is a grassroots protest. This is a group of fans saying, we're not buying your narrative. Your narrative ownership is false. We will support the team. Now, it's the old chicken and egg thing. Give them a good ballpark, give them a good team, maybe they'll support the team a little bit better. I'd like to see Oakland with a new ballpark, with a competitive team, and see what they draw then. Because even in the Coliseum, from 2001 to 2005, when the team was quite competitive, these were the Moneyball years, they drew over 2 million. In 2014, coming off a 96-win season, they drew over 2 million. It is not impossible to draw over 2 million and probably even close to 3 million in the right ballpark with the right team. So this idea that team can't draw, it has been a self-fulfilling prophecy of the Oakland A's, and it's been a self-fulfilling prophecy lately of Major League Baseball as well. They just don't support the team. No, they will support the team. They're going to show support tonight. It's one night, I get it. But this idea that those fans are not quality fans and they're just turning their backs on the team, I would suggest that the team has turned their backs on the fans. And I would also suggest that a market is not defined by the team. The team helps define the market by the way it performs. And we've seen the way the Oakland A's have performed in recent years. We've seen their approach to roster building, or should I say roster deconstruction. And that is why you've seen the low turnouts, aside from a park that just isn't major league quality at this point. So again, I'm looking forward to this tonight. It's one of the cooler things I think we've seen in a long time, actually, in a baseball park, because it shows people just banding together to disprove what they believe is something that is false.
Yeah, Ken, I agree with you, Ken. I think what the fans are doing, it's awesome. It's good for baseball, even though the odds are stacked against them as far as ticket prices. And like I said, the stadium it's been on a decline for I don't know how long now. Just getting the opportunity to play in the visiting clubhouse, I mean, that definitely needs a lot of work. But and to me, I think the ownership, their mind is made up. Would you agree? Would you not agree with that assessment?
Their mind is made up for Vegas?
Yes, made up for Vegas.
They want to go. I would agree, Lorenzo. And it's clear they want to go. What's really interesting is if this falls apart in Las Vegas, and it still might, it's kind of unclear which way the legislature and the government's going to go there, then what? And then you go crawling back to Oakland and say, you know what? Let's just build a new stadium here. Let's forget that whatever the development price was, I think it was $8 billion or some crazy number. We don't need that. We just want our ballpark as we were getting in Vegas. They're not getting this massive development project in Vegas. And then let's see if Oakland goes back to the table, which I believe the city would, and tries to work something out. Because that, in my mind, is still the best outcome for this franchise. We are talking about the 6th largest television market in the country. I know it's divided with the Giants, but we're talking about number 6 versus number 40 in Las Vegas. And if you're asking me which is better for the sport, to have a team in a new ballpark with a competitive club in Oakland or the same team in Las Vegas, where we really don't know if baseball will succeed. And don't tell me about other sports. Baseball is different. So, yes, Oakland is the preferred choice, if you ask me, and we'll see what happens here. I'm not sure how it's going to go.
Hey, Ken, let's get to the New York Mets, because you talked about them on Fair Territory and you wrote about them last week, and we started talking about them on Friday with you as well. Yes, there's the wee slide from Sarah Langs. They're going down right now. And I think it wasn't official when we spoke to you, but we saw it coming. Pete Alonso on the IL, and it's not just, a week and a half. It's looking more like 3+ weeks, maybe a month, which is the guy who has been carrying their offense. You wrote about Steve Cohen, of course, who at least right now publicly has kept his cool about the situation. But my question is, if this continues, because now we're in mid-June, right? We're getting close. We're a month and a half away from the trade deadline. If this continues for the Mets and they don't look like they're even a wild card contender, are they suddenly going to be the sexiest ball club in terms of trade conversations? Like, does Max Scherzer get on a run and become the hottest trade talk conversation at the deadline?
Scott, I'd be surprised in an age when we have 3 wild cards that the Mets would be out of it to that point where they would consider that kind of sell-off. I guess you can't rule it out. And if it gets to that point where they're really not even in wild card contention, then sure, you'd have to entertain everything. But that would surprise me. Now, the real question is, where are they going here? And what's going to happen, not just for the rest of the season, but in the future? Because they've got this older club, and they have talked, Steve Cohen has talked about spending money, and spending it heavily, of course, until the farm system is ready to start producing players. They've got some position players. We've seen some of them. Alvarez has been terrific. Beatty, okay. But they have not produced pitchers. So they have to keep going back into the free agent market for pitching, and we're seeing the results of that. It's not great because they've dipped into a free agent market where their best choice was Justin Verlander, who is an older guy at this point. Now, he beat the alternative, who was Jacob deGrom, as it turns out, but it still wasn't ideal. Now, maybe Verlander gets on a roll. I will never bet against him. I will never bet against Scherzer. And it's entirely possible that this team can be the team at some level that they envisioned. But I'm going to broaden this question that you just asked. It's not just the Mets that are potential sellers right now. Look at the Cardinals. Look at the Mariners. Look at the White Sox, the Twins, all of these teams that are not really where they want to be. I guess I should exclude the Twins. They're still in first place. But there are a number of disappointing teams in this sport right now. The Padres would be another. I have said all along, I don't expect every one of those teams to get it together, and it looks like right now the Cardinals might be the team that doesn't. But if any one of those teams is not in contention, sure, they're going to have to entertain everything because that's what teams do at the deadline, and they can't be unrealistic. They've got to look themselves in the mirror and say, okay, this is who we are. The problem is with that, again, the third wild card, the possibility of just getting in and getting hot like the Phillies did last year is really enticing, and it's a real thing. It happened last year.
Yeah, but there's just too much. There's just too much. It seems like there's too much going on with the Mets. There's too much going on with the Cardinals. It's not. It's just not like what you throw the White Sox in. There's just every day it's something new, right? It's not. There's no cohesion. But then you look at the other side, and when we had your boy Kirk Herbstreit on, and you wanted Ellie De La Cruz and Scott's buddy, right? Ellie.
Yeah.
He's come up. They've been great. He's been great. Right, all they did was put him at third base. How hard was that? We didn't have to start a Twitter war, Ken. You know, we could have just let Kirk be right. Okay.
For now, AJ, you've got Nick Senzel, who is playing third base on the IL. You've got a kid coming up who is well thought of too, Christian Encarnacion-Strand. He might not be a third baseman. You've got Joey Votto coming back. There are a lot of pieces that are going to have to be juggled here. And again, the way they're doing it right now is the way they should be doing it. They're keeping everyone in the mix. But this is still a pending problem. It's a good problem to have, as we tried to explain to your friend, Mr. Herbstreit. And I love the way they're playing. And why can't they still steal a division this year? I know it's a long shot. I know their rotation isn't nearly good enough. Lodolo's out. They're like 29th in the league in ERA as a rotation. But they've got a lot of excitement around that team now. And heaven forbid they act as buyers at the deadline and go do something big. I'm not expecting it. They'd be in a mediocre division a real threat. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that all plays out because we have seen, AJ, as you kind of indicated there, on the flip side of the disappointing teams, some surprising teams. The Marlins, the Pirates, now the Reds. It's kind of interesting to see some of these teams rise up where we didn't expect them before. The Diamondbacks, I would even put the Rangers in that category. Even the Angels. So that's the beauty of the season. We play 162 and we see all these sagas play out. But just as all those disappointing teams aren't going to suddenly turn it around, all of these surprise teams aren't going to finish where they are either. And that's what we're going to find out over the next several months.
The best part of this whole thing, though, Ken, we're talking about the Reds. And there's excitement in Cincinnati again, right? Pittsburgh, they're filling that park up in Pittsburgh.
Yes.
I know Scott.
Scott, what? Scott? No, my thing. I mean, I'm with Ken on the.
But it's great.
AJ's just trolling, but wait.
It's great though because we're talking about teams going into the season that we would have never thought we'd be talking about. The Pirates, the Reds.
I picked their over on the wins.
Which one?
Cincinnati.
Okay.
No, I don't like Pittsburgh, but I like
the Pirates,
Cincinnati.
the Reds.
Yes.
Right. Who else? The Marlins, the Diamondbacks. These are teams the past 5-10 years.
Rangers.
They're
back. But
right?
my thing with Cincinnati,
it's good for the game though.
Yes.
I want these teams. I want every team to try to be good.
And they're laughing at Steve Cohen, like the Castellinis. I'm not going to speak directly for them, but they're going, we have a bottom 5 payroll. This dude has a number 1 payroll, and some of the owners were even slyly public about saying we can't compete with something like that. So they're rooting against him behind the scenes because they don't want him to bully everyone with money. My thing with Cincinnati, Ken, is if they're going to be in this kind of range right now, which I think they are a contender in the division, then go do something at the deadline. You don't have to mortgage your future, but they have a lot of prospects. They definitely are capable of making a deal. And if they have to take someone on like a pitcher that's going to cost them $5 million or whatever it is in the second half of the season, your payroll's $80-something million. I saw the note. I think it's like their lowest payroll in a full season since 2011. Are you kidding me? They're definitely going to be making more money. And they're filling that ballpark. They're going to make a lot more money this year than they thought they were going to make.
Giolito,
perfect. They should make a deal like that.
I totally agree with this. And this kind of came up in something I wrote yesterday. It was about Alexis Diaz. And there's been some talk about, than possibly trading Alexis Diaz. And my point was, no, you're not trading your closer at a time when things are finally starting to come together, at a time when you might have a chance in this mediocre division to actually threaten for a division title. So if that's your logic, right, you're going to keep your closer, you're going to keep your team intact, you should be trying to add to that team, Scott. And this is exactly what I was saying. They are well positioned to do some things because of all these things we discussed that got everyone, well, not everyone, Kirk, got so upset about this incredible depth that they have right now. All of these players kind of layering over each other. You've got pieces to trade. And it doesn't have to be Jonathan India, and it doesn't have to be Ellie De La Cruz. There are other pieces in this mix here that possibly could bring you something special. And, hey, what if you took Christian Encarnacion Strand, who is a hitter? I don't know that he's a guy with a position necessarily, but he's a hitter. What if you traded him for the equivalent of another young pitcher, even a guy with control? There are all kinds of ways to go about this, and I'm with you, Scott, 1,000%. They should be aggressive on these kinds of trades, these kinds of ideas, and not be passive. They have to take advantage of the moment. And you guys know this. Winning is so difficult in Major League Baseball. When that opportunity comes, you have to grab it. You cannot sit there and say, next year. That was the problem I had with the Orioles last year. They ultimately, it's going to be proven out, did the right thing. They got Cano in the Jorge Lopez trade. I hated the message at the time because they had a chance. Now, all the front offices now, they play the actuarial game. Actually, not the actuarial game, the playoff odds game. And they're like, well, we're 3%. Forget that. Every year there are teams that defy the odds. And this is a sport. It is entertainment, and you have to go for it when you have a chance. That's my point.
Yeah, you don't know. Don't say, "Oh, my window is year X."
That's
you
right.
don't know when your window is. Yeah, and on Herb Street, remember he said even during his crazy schedule of football season, he's joining the show. He's like, "I'm going to take off of a game." And he gets a lot of money for those games. If the Reds make the playoffs, he's coming on FT again.
Yeah,
so look out.
For sure, I'm all for it.
Mm-hmm.
Another team, kind of, I feel like defying the odds, Ken, and I don't know. The Braves, they have a great lineup, but they lose starting pitchers, it seems like, on a daily basis. Even last night, Charlie Morton, he kind of gave and they went and checked on him a couple times. He stayed in the game, gave him almost 6 innings, didn't go as deep probably as he wanted to. How do they keep doing it? And how much pitching depth can they possibly have? Because they've got Wright on the IL, they've got Fried on the IL. Soroka hasn't done anything for him in like 3 years. How do they keep doing this? And in depth, I get that every organization has depth, but every guy they call up does better than expected.
Well, that's what's amazing. And it comes back to drafting and development, as it always does. And without Fried and without Wright, it seems that, yes, they've had guys come up and make an impact that we're not expected to. Bryce Elder, foremost among them this year. He's this year's guy. Spencer Strider last year, we didn't expect Spencer Strider to do
what about
the Smith Shawver? He just came up. This guy started pitching like 3 years ago. They grabbed him in the draft, and here he is. Schuster is another one. Dodd earlier this season. They, for some reason, like a number of teams, the Astros have done this. The Dodgers have done it to an extent. The Guardians certainly. They have an ability to draft and develop pitching that is ahead of other clubs, and it enables the Braves to keep doing this. And actually, I said it on my show, AJ. To me, it's not just amazing that they're doing this without Fried and Wright. They take Freddie Freeman off the team last year. They take Dansby Swanson off the team this year. And my goodness, they're still there. Now, I know they replaced Freddie with Matt Olson, and I know Arcia has proven to be a great replacement for Swanson. But in Arcia's case, that wasn't necessarily expected. He was kind of bouncing around, a little bit of a journeyman. And now here he is again, showing the promise that he had in Milwaukee. So it's a tribute to their organization. They do an amazing job despite whatever might befall them each year. And even with Ozuna was a guy everyone, including myself, was saying, why aren't they releasing him in April? He had the domestic violence suspension. He had terrible performance. There was every reason for them just to eat that salary, make him your Aaron Hicks, right? What the Yankees did with Aaron Hicks. Well, they didn't do that. They hung in there for whatever reason, and here's Ozuna making an impact like he was back in Miami.
That's because they love him in the clubhouse. And say what you want, but
both ways.
It does
they
matter.
do love him.
They love him. They absolutely love him in the clubhouse. So before we let you go, A's 18 wins, Royals 18 wins. Which one breaks the all-time loss record? Both, none. Who gets the first pick? Go.
I'm still gonna say the A's. They got to 18.
I knew it.
They got to 18 by winning 6 straight. So
they're hot.
I don't expect this streak. They're hot, and they do have some interesting pieces. Noda and Rooker and Ruiz certainly. But I expect those.
Langoliers is not.
He's
pretty good, solid
but he's
player.
Too young. They're not going to trade.
I expect they're going to trade Blackburn, and the Royals. I don't think they'll trade Greinke. They'll probably compete a little bit better. That's my expectation. I don't know. We're talking about not picking between the greatest of teams here.
That's the point. That's why it's so much fun, because who's going to get the first pick?
No, the best line from, because everyone's in the YouTube chat having fun with this, was from Jackson. He said about Rooker, he goes, if the A's lose Brent Rooker, they're screwed.
Hey, Rooker was a good player at Mississippi State.
He's been better here than with Minnesota. Ken, great to talk to you. I'm so glad that you and AJ could find time in your schedules to sync up and duke it out again.
I'm glad AJ just showed up today. That's all.
Hey, I'm just hoping I get to do a Fox game with you at some point, Ken.
Not yet?
No, he's on A. He's A crew. Smoltz, Davis. He doesn't trickle down to Adam Amin and Jason Benetti and I.
If it happens, I'll be jumping up and down, and nobody will be seeing that, of course, AJ. I'll be jumping up and down. Nobody can see it and trying to get on the air. It's going to be a battle.
Hey, Aaron Judge up here says hi, okay?
Yeah. Yes, he does.
Good luck. Hope that you guys sync up.
Yeah,
and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers. All right. Good stuff.
And before, run the fair territory.
You say it.
Fair Territory with Ken Rosenthal. Episodes drop every Monday. Available wherever you can get your podcast. YouTube also. Fair Territory playlist. foulterritory.com/playlist. Dude of the week. Dork of the week.
Wow.
And all the other things that Ken has. And I just want people to know that Ken and I really do like each other.
Obviously.
But
not you and me. We don't like each other.
No, we hate each other. But you're in my house all the time. Ken and I we actually love each other. And it's just playful banter that we have. So I don't want people to think that Ken and I don't like each other at all. We actually really get along great. And I love talking baseball with Ken because he knows everything.
No, I'll give people some insight, right? Lo, you see, because we're all in a chat together during the show the whole time. Uh-huh. And AJ often we'll be like, all right, let's let Ken go. He's got to go. And then AJ's like, one more question. Yeah. I got one more thing to shoot at him,
Because he's so good. When you played, right? When you saw Ken Rosenthal walk into the stadium, one, you knew it was a big game usually. Yeah. And two, you knew he knew what he was talking about because he doesn't just throw crap against the wall and see what sticks. He literally knows, and I've talked to him about it. He verify, and they don't put it out there. He's just a great resource, and so happy he's part of the Foul Territory world.
Oh yeah, I enjoyed that very much. Every time he's on the show, please, I need to be on the show with you guys. I enjoyed that very much.
Oh, well, then, Lo, you're going to be working hard because he's on with us multiple times a week. You sure?
I take that back.
Hold up.
Be careful what you wish for.
Hey, let's hit some games before Rowdy Tellez joins us. It is last minute game time presented by the GameTime ticketing app, best in the biz. If you're stressed out about buying last minute tickets, you don't have to be anymore. You hit the GameTime app, download it, and redeem code FTLive, which we've seen a lot of. There's been a lot of activity on that front, so we appreciate you. $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply for the newbies that are downloading the app, and many of you who have chimed in and said, hey, I've already got it. It's awesome. Best deals on the planet for last-minute tickets, the flash deals, especially if you're looking to hit a game, and baseball's perfect for it because there's a game every night. So tonight, it's stacked. I mean, everyone's playing tonight. It's a Tuesday. There's no day games. You got a lot of games to choose from. If you have one game, I'm giving you the jet, and you're buying tickets on GameTime. Lo, where are you going?
Oh, man. Golly. That's a tough one, man. I mean, I guess we'll stick with I was talking about both New York teams. I mean, I feel like that's always a great game, both New York teams. So that would be the place I would go right now.
Just off the top of my head
right now.
Subway Series. All right.
Not just Luis Severino, who's been very open about how he's not been good.
Not been good, yeah.
But potential trade candidate. Max Scherzer. Lo, are you watching to see? Could this be some of his last starts with the Mets?
Well, it possibly, Scherzer has always had my number. So, it pains me to see him struggle like this because, I think I'm still 0 to this day off of Scherzer. So, but I think he'll get it rolling. I think he'll bounce back because, he's been dominant for so long. So, but at the end of the day, I think this could possibly be his last few days with the Mets.
Which would be nuts.
Which would be crazy.
It would be nuts.
Full crazy.
Okay, where are you going?
Dude, there's only one choice.
What's that?
I'm going for the reverse protest, bro. I'm going to
Let's go.
Now I'm wearing my Cell shirt. Hell yeah. Rays versus Hulk Hogan Harris. I don't even.
We just
broke
broke
Joe Creedy's head.
Show it.
It's just Joe Creedy.
Look how excited AJ.
Joe, pick that up later.
Oh man.
I'm going to the reverse protest.
Doesn't matter what the
Hulk Hogan Harris.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? Versus Jalen Beeks. What a pitching matchup. There's going to be chanting going on every top of the inning, every bottom inning. There's going to be the silent protest where everyone just stands there for the hitter. Hell yeah.
That will be how it is for most games. What?
The prices of the average ticket went from like $40 to like $80 because of this protest.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be busy. It's seriously going to be busy tonight, though.
I know.
Yeah.
Really?
How can you? I want to go to that game. I want to be part of history.
I'm with you.
I'll jump on a flight and get out there with you, AJ. How about that?
We'll take Scott's private jet. We'll pick you up in Oklahoma. How's that?
I like it.
Yeah. My jet goes very slow. It's a 4-seater sedan.
Well, there's 3 of us.
It'll take you about 10 days to get there, especially if you have to stop for bathroom breaks. But I'm with you. I'm so with you. I would love to be there. Seriously, I would love to be there tonight. I wish that Mark and everyone behind the scenes would let me have the day off so I could fly out there.
You have the weekend.
You're going to host for me. I am actually taking off for real. I'm not even joking. Next Friday. I'm going to.
Friday don't.
Oh, right. You're not here. And next Monday. So you will have a show without me. Okay. But
dreams do come true, Scott. Dreams do come true.
I can't wait to see the ratings on that one. So anyway, I'm with you. And there are other good candidates out there in terms of pitching matchups. Don't worry about it. We'll talk about it when we get there. I'm deep in game time right now. Brewers Twins. Corbin Burns against Pablo Lopez. Good pitching matchup. And also sneaky pitching matchup. And all just like not desperation mode, but kind of. The Cardinals need to start winning games. Like this is getting out of hand. So it's Jack Flaherty. Yeah. Against Alex Cobb. Like, Flaherty, he's shown some good signs lately, but Alex Cobb's been really solid for San Francisco.
He struggled a little bit his last couple of times out.
Yeah.
He's
won the year.
You know, another good game, which no one's talking about, is we can go watch Lance Lynn. Good chance he grabs his nuts and yells an F-bomb at some point during that game. Because have you seen the thing all over Instagram where don't take your kids to a game Lance Lynn pitches?
Yeah.
Just him yelling words out.
Kids are copying it.
There's kids copying all over the place. I love you, Lance.
Kids are going to be suspended from school, and they're going to be like, what happened? Like, we watched Lance Lynn
Lance Lynn pitched yesterday.
That's what Lynn does.
Has he always done that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but more so now. I mean, he didn't do that like early Cardinals days.
Yeah, I had him in 14. Pretty early.
He was doing that, not that much. I think he's amped it up a couple notches.
I think the microphones have gotten better.
The microphones are better, and social media is hotter.
Yes.
Like nothing gets by anybody, right? And the cameras know. Like with some starters, like you get through the inning and they just walk off, and the cameras are like, whatever. Lance finishes an inning, and he's probably got 5 cameras on him. They're like, what's he gonna do?
Love it.
I love it.
We need more of it.
Yes. So
maybe not with all the cussing, but I still want more of it.
No, we're all about the cussing here. So check out GameTime. If you don't have the app, you can also hit gametime.co for last minute tickets. You shouldn't be stressing out because they make it easy for you. They take care of you. There's flash deals for last minute tickets, and they are the best in the biz in that category. The images of your seat views, it's the most high tech app and views of your seat, which you'll be able to see in just a moment. You move your phone around, you can see where you're sitting, like for us at the A's game. Lowest price, guaranteed. Event cancellation protection for real. Job loss protection there for you as well. Things that if you thought about a ticketing app and said this would be my dream list of what should be included, they'd be on there for you. So snag the tickets without the stress with GameTime. Download the GameTime app, create an account. Use code FTLive for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's creating an account, redeeming the code FT Live for $20 off, and download the GameTime app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed, and we'll see y'all at the Oakland game. I hope that one of our fans is in Oakland and sending us some videos from the game, because I would love to see what that looks like. But we also do have guests that are going to cover that topic. That includes Joe Sheehan, who has been writing all about this, longtime writer. And tomorrow we will have a guest on that topic as well, who is hitting the game. Saris, who does a great job writing for years, especially on pitching, but he writes for The Athletic. He lives in the Bay Area, and he will be at the game. So keep an eye out for that. And by the way, Rowdy Tellez joining us soon. I did look up, because you mentioned Benji Molina, his numbers. He had, I'm an OPS plus guy, 100th league average. So he had one season at 100, one season at 108. And the rest
Benji was an awesome player. Yeah. Great dude.
He was I'm saying he wasn't like a star.
No, but I'm just saying the fact that he got a triple and hit for the cycle is probably the most unbelievable thing.
He's fortunate that sprint speed didn't exist back then.
Boston, and they were like, how in the world can Benji Molina get the cycle? He's got to hit a triple. And then he hit it like perfectly in the corner, and the center fielder dove for it and it rattled around. And he still almost got thrown out of third, but pretty awesome. Because if you know Ben, I don't know, Lo, if you know Benji or not, but Benji's an awesome dude, man. He really
seemed like a fun dude from afar.
Seriously,
man.
He's
seemed like a great dude from afar.
I just clicked out of the page. He probably retired in 2012?
Yeah, maybe after the Rangers went to the World Series in 10, maybe 10 or 11, because he was on both teams. Remember? The Rangers played the Giants, and he was traded from one to the other when Posey came up, and he was guaranteed to get a ring either way. So he got a NL ring, or he got a World Series ring and an AL championship ring, because he was on the Rangers and the Giants won.
2010, Texas.
Yeah.
That was San Francisco and Texas, and then he retired. Yep, good call.
Okay.
Good recall. 13 years for him in the bigs.
Every once in a while, I sneak one in there.
No, you do almost every day. Your recall is fantastic. Hot corner time. And we have something fancy for it now. Regular seg. Woo!
Ooh, that's hot.
How was your house today?
Don't get me started. That's not. Okay.
Okay. Well, let's start with Gucci. Okay. AJ's favorite topic. So they're collabing with MLB, and look at Lo. I don't think we went over this before the show and we chatted, which is perfect. So, Lo, there is a collab, and you can buy Gucci MLB products, and we are going to flash some of them and just get a thumbs up or thumbs down. You're a stylish gentleman, and let us know, yes or no, if you're into it and if you would buy it, because some of the price tags are steep. Let's start with the MLB jean vest. Okay. And I want to get a Price is Right too. Can we do this? Did you already see the prices?
I saw some of them.
Okay, so I'll get from Lo. So first off, there it is. If you're looking from home, yes or no, would you buy this?
No. And you said this is Gucci, right?
Yeah, this is all Gucci. So give me a price tag as well, Lo. What do you think this is running?
I would say no, thumbs down. I'm not a big fan of the jean cutoff. I don't know what that is, but knowing Gucci, they probably, priced it pretty high. So I'm going to say $200 something.
No, dude, when's the last time you bought something Gucci?
He was close. There is a 200 in the price, but there's also an 8 in front of it.
Yeah,
so
I was going to say
$8,200 for that jean vest.
Wait, what?
I was like, wait, what?
Denim is really expensive these days, apparently. Fans, I would love you to chime in.
Can we get a picture of the White Sox shoes?
No, we're gonna run through them. Yeah, we've got 6 here, so that's one. I'll go a little quicker now, and fans, feel free to chime in. Here's the Cleveland hat. That looks like a creamsicle polka dot.
Now, see that one? I could see somebody actually buying.
Oh, that's
that one's cool. I get
a thumbs up on that.
That one's thumbs up. The jean jacket, I can only see LoCain wearing the jean jacket.
No,
but nothing underneath it. I can see you rocking that.
Hey, 100%. Not for $8,000. Let me tell you.
Well,
for free for Halloween. Lo, you like that hat?
Oh, sorry, I'm not a big fan of the hat either.
Nope, that's fair. Give me a price for it. Price is right.
Well, since I was way off on my price the first time, let's go $800. I don't know.
Okay, that was close. $690 for that hat.
Mm-hmm. Is it fitted at least, or is it like it's not a trucker's hat? Is it?
I would hope that they at least have fitted. Like, let me get
outfit.
my 7 1/4 or whatever, right? Oakland's got a jacket. So if you're heading to the game tonight and you want to buy the team or buy this jacket, it is the same price. This is a very orange jacket with the Oakland A's logo, real big on the left side. And I'm a no. I'm out on that one. Doesn't do much for me. Looks like I'm at Niagara Falls. And
you need in Oakland. Some of them games get chilly.
Yeah.
It would look better if it was a Giants jacket because the colors would go better.
True. Yeah.
So you're an A's fan, you don't like the Giants, you're going to wear an orange jacket? This doesn't work for me.
Seems like enemy territory.
Yeah, this doesn't work for me. But
Low, thumbs down?
Thumbs down for me. I can't do the orange jacket on that. That's probably priced at what, $6,000? Who knows anymore? It's
it might be a discount. Okay, John Fisher is giving you a discount, $4,300 for the Oakland jacket. This is fun. We got 3 more, I think. So let's do the White Sox loafers. This is an AJ Pierzynski special. He designed these, but he designed these a different color. Someone slapped some pink on them. So again, for me, Halloween. Otherwise, I'm out. You?
Hawk Harrelson would rock those proudly.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else? Yohan Moncada?
Yeah.
Oh, he's
got some shoes that are about that color that he wears that are cleats. Me personally, what did Randy Jackson say? That's a no for me, dog. But I mean, listen, everyone be yourself, do what you got to do to make yourself look good, feel good, play good. So, I mean, they do have a good logo on them.
Yes.
Low.
For me, I have a lot of Latino friends that can definitely make those look really good. I promise.
Salvi, if it was KC, Salvi would rock those
really good.
Hell yeah. Price?
Yes. Oh man, so that's the shoe.
I'll give you a hint. They're cheaper than you think.
Really? So let's go 3,000. How about that?
$1,750.
I'll say $1,800.
How is that $1,750 and the jean vest is $8,200?
Because the jean vest has all the teams on it. That only has one team.
Right. And how much does it cost to make a patch?
Apparently, you have to count how many teams are on it and then divide that by the money that's left.
That's how much licensing has to go out to each team.
Exactly.
2 more.
For the 6 of them, they sell. These aren't bad.
No, those are cool. What's on the back though?
Pom-poms.
Yeah, but it looks like if they're too long, I'm going to trip on them. But I like the
Those
look.
are clearly Mets, right?
Houston Astros.
What?
It is Houston.
Looks like Batman on the side.
They are cool though. I would rock those.
As a Gator fan,
I'd hit the club with those.
As a Gator fan, orange and blue, let's go.
You go to the club with those?
I mean, probably not, but
country club.
Country club, maybe.
Low, do we have your approval?
I'll give you a thumbs up on those.
Yeah,
I'm a big shoe guy, so I like those. I like those a lot. Price
tag?
Should they be more than the Gucci pink shoes? You know what? Let's go with $4,000.
Well, you're definitely buying these. They're only $1,390.
All right.
They're tennis shoes.
See, that's the buy for me. So far, that's the buy. That's the one that stands out between price, style.
Yeah.
I mean, I might have to trim that mullet on the back. I'd just be worried I'm going to somehow trip, Lastly.
You could get flat tired in those things like a champion.
Pittsburgh blue and cream jacket. Big miss for me.
I want to know what's on the sleeves a little bit more.
That's got the baseball
the baseball seams down the side.
Which I like that, but I don't know. To me, it's like
black,
vintage high school.
If it was black.
Much more into
with
it.
P,
yeah,
in the sleeves like that.
Miss on the blue and cream for me.
Yeah,
cream with black, the off-white with the black. Low.
I don't really like all the switching of the team colors. That's kind of throwing me off a little bit, but. That'd be a nice Letterman jacket, I guess. High school Letterman jacket. I would go. Let's price that at more than the shoes. Let's go 3,000 for the jacket.
Let's more than double it. $6,800.
It's real leather.
Real leather. There it is. There it is. AJ.
Corinthian leather.
Still less than the denim.
It's Corinthian leather.
So thrown off.
Denim's expensive.
It is. That was fun though.
That was actually, listen, people are going to buy that stuff and people are going to wear that stuff. And when you see it, you're going to be like, oh, damn, Lorenzo Cain got the price wrong on that one. He's way under. Some dudes in New York's going to be rocking that leather, the vest. You'll go into New York one day and there'll be a dude wearing that.
100%. 100%.
Not many. There might be one.
There's going to be. You'll see it, dude.
I do not see that.
At some point, we'll see it. One of us we'll see it. We'll have to take it.
Here's my thing also, though, and you know this, right? Our sport is very regionalized. There are more just uber fans of one team than of the whole sport, which I think needs to continue to change. But I just have a hard time seeing a majority of people going, oh, yeah, that's got every team on it in. Most people are like, it's just like when we talked to Ken Golden and he said the Babe Ruth by itself is more than the combo. To me, I think there's items that have a lot more value if it's just one team versus all teams.
Okay.
No?
Yeah.
Like
for a fan,
White Sox fans, right? And you know them well.
Yeah.
They probably just want their White Sox uniform. Like they don't want one that has the Cubs on it.
No, 100%. The thing is, there's that guy that just wants the fashion and they're going to a game and they're going to say, oh, I can wear a vest. That way I don't hurt anyone's feelings. And I have all the teams on it.
Oh, yeah. I want to be fair to every team.
And I'm going to have the cutoff jean vest thingy with all the teams on it. And I'm going to be in New York and I'm going to be sitting behind home plate and the camera's going to be on me the whole time. So 1,000,000% there's some person out there that's going to buy that and wear it to a game. You're going to turn on a Yankee or Mets game and behind home plate instead of Marlins man, you're going to have jean vest guy.
And I'm going to say he's buying us dinner or she's buying us dinner.
I hope they do.
I mean, if they're down to drop AGs on that. So one more. Ricky Karcher made his MLB debut last night, and they threw him into the fire.
Dude, I don't care. He covered for me.
Same.
Lot.
10th inning. He's on the mound, and he is wild. And actually, there was a turning point, too, where Matt Quatraro, the manager for the Royals, came out to argue because there was a pitch clock violation that led to a strike. And I think it was
3-0, actually, too.
Yes. He made it 3-1, and it calmed him down. Anyway, he ends up pulling off the save. Really dramatic. We'll get into it later when we go over our picks. But the post-game interview had all the Reds still hanging in the dugout to watch him and celebrate him, and it sounded like this.
Right now, with the entire team waiting for Ricky Karcher to do this interview. How's this feel right now?
It's like a movie, bro. Yeah. I feel like it doesn't even feel real, man. It's incredible. Holy shit.
Wow. All right, live TV, we're good. We're on cable. How were you able to manage through that?
I don't know, man. I mean, confidence in my slider, I guess.
That was awesome.
Great.
And all his whole team was in the dugout watching him.
Love it. Shows you how much he means to him, his first game.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you, Ricky, for getting out of that because you got me my lock to hit.
Yeah, same.
Because it was, first of all, it was 3-3 in the 8th, and I'm like, huh. And then the Reds scored, and I'm like, huh, 4-3, game over. Salvi. Damn you, Salvi hits a homer to tie.
Was it 9.5?
9.5. So it was 4-4.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, all right, the Reds score one, and I'm thinking, okay, don't score. And then they had like second and third, no outs, and I'm going, oh, here we go. And then he got, thank you.
Walk, double steal. They're on second and third, and he holds on.
Yes.
No, it was awesome. And I guess on cable TV, you can say shit. Is that true?
Yeah. As long as Nick Castellanos isn't up, you can say whatever you want.
Lo, can you imagine that's your first interview? Whole team's watching you. You drop a cuss word on your first TV interview. I mean, dude is winning.
Yes, man, just to have his teammates out there, that's amazing to see. I love to see that, the team coming together like that. And it shows how much they care about him. So, hopefully he stick around for a long, long time because, like, building that chemistry with your teammates, I mean, there's no better feeling for sure.
Dude, they didn't do that when I first came up. So, like, my first game or whatever, it wasn't even, that wasn't a thing.
You don't get the bath.
No, you didn't even get interviewed. You were lucky if there was one reporter in there with a microphone and a tape recorder.
Even if you had like a walk-off, they didn't do the on-field stuff?
1998?
No.
Come on, dude.
Times have changed.
25 years ago? No.
They're calling him Ricky Wild Thing Karcher.
Kirk Casale, the catcher, because there was like 4 balls he jumped and caught behind him. So he deserves a lot of credit.
They asked him later in the interview, they go, what did Kirk Casale say to you when he went to the mound to chat? And he goes, he just said, we got to work on your fastball. I'm dying. He goes, that's it. That's all he said.
He threw a lot of sliders. Good for him.
Well, the slider was on. He didn't have the fastball command.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It was fun. It was a fun finish to watch. I will say, for a Reds-Royals game in mid-June, I was highly entertained with all of that. Let's bring in our next guest, our buddy, Rowdy Tellez, joining us on FT Live right now. Rowdy, first ever interview for Ricky Karcher. We were just showing it, and he's dropping the S word. He's dropping shit on cable television. How come you didn't do that?
I did it with we had one of our on-field reporters asked me about a wedding I did in the off-season a couple years ago, and I said shit, and she lost it, and I was like, God, it's not a bad word.
Wait, she got upset that you said it on camera?
Yeah, she did. She didn't like it. She was like, hey, you said a bad word, and I was like, yeah, I don't care. Neither does anybody else in America.
Well, before we dig in,
it was good.
Can I get a full view of whatever shirt you have on?
Reception's tough. Let's see.
No.
He said,
I got
no,
super connection because we're in Minnesota.
Uh-oh.
Remember when Trevino was in Minnesota? He couldn't get a connection either.
Minnesota's got Wi-Fi issues, no?
Dude, I'm losing.
Uh-oh, Rowdy.
We'll talk to you tomorrow when Kratz is back on.
Minnesota's right in the city, too. That ballpark.
The heart of the city.
You can't get Wi-Fi in the heart of the
A-Rod's
city?
stealing it all for the Timberwolves.
I wouldn't be surprised. More
right next to each other. You never
more over here. The shirt did look.
I wanted to know what that was. It like,
looked Gucci.
I know. That's why I was wanting to know what it looked like. I wanted to see the whole thing. I need to see the whole thing.
The
definitely not
fans,
Gucci.
No,
that'd be too expensive of a shirt for Rowdy to buy. Trust me, he's cheap, man. I promise.
Cheap, huh? Gosh, I hope we get him back on now.
Of course, our fans right away go, Rowdy, go to the laundry room.
Yeah, that's where we work for.
There it is.
The laundry room is famous for reception.
That was great. Well, great. Rowdy's best interview by far.
Oh, he nailed it. Yeah. So I do want to go back then to some other hot corner topics, including Mark Kotsay. So we have word from him. What?
He deserves a raise. He deserves a better job. He deserves it all because he
might not have a job after what he said, though. Well, I don't know what he said, honestly, but I was told that it was supportive of the fans. Which
Rowdy's back.
Rowdy's back.
Yeah, kind of. But yeah, here, listen here, Lo. You ain't talking to me about being cheap, you little fuck. You don't spend no money on your team.
Wait a minute.
And
wait a minute now.
I was, yeah. You know, fuck you. And I was late getting to the stadium because they're putting up this shitty ass statue of AJ Pierzynski in this fucked up place. So I don't even want to hear it. Guy had half a good season here, and they love him.
Is that true? Are they putting up a statue?
God, have you not learned that Rowdy lies more than you do?
He hasn't, AJ, at all.
So this conversation with
he only lies once. You don't want a statue up in Minnesota?
I deserve one after they traded me for Joe Nathan, Francisco Liriano, and Booth. And Joe Mauer.
That was a good trade for That was a good trade for the Twins.
No shit. That's why
they got some good arms and some good clubhouse guys and got rid of you.
That's right. And I went to your favorite team and got to tell you to fuck off.
Yeah.
Fat meatball.
All I wanted was an autograph.
You were a little fat meatball back then, so I was like, fuck off. I'm a vegetarian. There's the shirt.
Oh, that is nice.
Sick shirt. I wear collared shirts to the field because I'm a professional.
Get that. Where does one purchase a shirt like that?
Cincinnati. There's not much to do there but buy a shitty shirt.
Oh, crap, man. I miss you, man. Hey, listen, Rowdy, I miss you, man. I miss the trash talk more than anything. You know I enjoy it in the clubhouse.
You weren't very good at it, but, I mean, it's always fun to talk to you.
Right.
I usually call Lo on my drives to go deer hunting, and he answers the phone, and he's usually doing something that he has to say something bad about me, and but he was always my hero. When I got traded over here, he was hurt, and then he came over here and didn't even introduce himself to me. He just looked at me, and I said, "Yeah, man, we got the same haircut. Say something stupid." So we was close from then on, and never bought me anything. Didn't take care of any of the young guys. But I mean, crusty ass hands, needed lotion.
Rowdy, the difference between us is, listen, I'm 9 years older than you are, but we got the same haircut, I'm growing mine out. Look at that. I'm growing it back, man. You see that? Growing it back.
Yeah,
out.
dude, you know what? It's a jungle out here, man. It's a jungle.
Well, listen, Rowdy. Listen to me, man. What's going on? What's going on in Milwaukee? Talk to me. Do I need to make a trip? Do I need to make a trip to Milwaukee and get you guys rolling again?
I think you do. Because we got going when you came out to Colorado last year. I think we need you. At least I do. I'm tired of being the most veteran guy in this place. It's getting tough.
What happened last time, Lo? What happened last year?
Well, it was a
he donated money to the fantasy football, so it was cool.
Yes. Because I'm the reigning champ fantasy football, so I went out for the fantasy football draft, and I had to get out there and get the boys because they were struggling a little bit. So we talked, we had a few drinks and relaxed, being our old selves, talking trash to each other, and they need that. They need the trash talk day in and day out, especially Rowdy. That is what gets him going. He needs it. You hear me, AJ? Scott, they need it.
Yeah, well, does he have, Rowdy, do you have the soundboards in the clubhouse to be able to talk shit with, or are you missing some of that right now?
You know what? I would really like AJ in there. I don't say a lot of good things about AJ, but I heard he was really good at talking shit, and I really need somebody like that. Sometimes it's okay to talk shit when, I got 19 years in the league. It's only 4.5, but it's 19. And sometimes you just need that guy that just says something, and you're just sitting there and you're like, man, I can't fire nothing back, and you just sit there and you're like, God damn it, you wear it. And we don't really. There's not a lot of shit talking guys here. We got a really nice clubhouse.
Murph, you got Murph.
Yeah, but you never know. Murph's gonna. You just don't know with Murph. Sometimes he's in his moods. He'll put on his headphones. He'll walk around. I swear to God, he's full unit up at 9 a.m. for a 7 o'clock game.
All right, so you ready for some shit talking?
Yeah, what do you got?
What the fuck's wrong with you? Why the fuck can't you hit? Because my Twitter's getting blown up. Can you please have Rowdy on so you can get him hot? So what the fuck is going on with your hitting? And then second of all, how in the holy hell are you guys behind the Pittsburgh Pirates?
Well, I'll answer the Pittsburgh Pirates one first. See what happens when you lose some games and they win games, then they go up. I don't know if you know how baseball works, but we're in a little funk right now. It happens to the best of us. And then to hitting, I was watching videos on you because I was getting prepared to talk shit, and it just went downhill fast. I was like, you know what? Let's copy that swing, and it didn't work. And I don't know. And then I decided to take BP low and fillet everything over third, thinking I could steal bases, and that didn't work. And then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna mix in a salad. Maybe I'll eat clean. My vibes will change, and that didn't work. So I'm just in the middle of I might need a live chicken, or something. Maybe I need to watch Bull Durham. AJ, why don't you just show up out here? You got enough money to make a flight out here. You probably fly private. They love you here in Minnesota. They do.
Love me here. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you when I'm going to see you. Hold on. Let me look real quick, and I'll tell you when I'm going to see. When I have a Brewers game. Oh yeah, I don't. Never mind. Only do good teams.
That's why you do the White Sox. So what are you talking about? You do good teams.
That's because they like me. Let me see. I actually do have a Brewer game somewhere in the schedule. Well, I was supposed to have one, but they took me off of it. Oh yeah, here we go. August 12th. I'll see you August 12th. Guess where?
Chicago.
Nailed it.
Brewers, White Sox?
Yep.
Yeah, of course.
Where do you see that ovation?
If I keep hitting like you, though, I might not make it to August 12th. I might be sitting at LoCain's house with him.
Hey,
Crown and Coke.
Hey, I don't know if you have I don't know, your phone doesn't have internet, but you better check those statics. Better check the back of my baseball card and call me back.
T-Mobile, man. I got that T-Mobile shit. It's not good.
You're supposed to get free MLB package on T-Mobile.
That's true.
Yeah, but that doesn't help with Wi-Fi.
Did you see the Gucci stuff we just had?
No.
Your shirt was part of it, I think. But all the stuff kind of looked like your shirt. Would you buy Gucci MLB stuff? They had a sleeveless vest, denim vest. With all the teams on it.
I don't wear nothing like that. I mean, I don't have that kind of money. I can't.
Here it is.
Can you see that?
Not only no, but hell no, I wouldn't wear that.
Wait, Rowdy, how much do you think they're selling that for?
If it's Gucci, that's got to be like $6,000.
$8,200. You went under.
Yeah, man, I'm trying to keep my pockets heavy, as my man Lo would say, and that's just not how you do it.
Keep those pockets heavy, man. Don't buy that Gucci stuff. It's a waste of money. Don't do it. Don't do
it. Yeah.
Hey, tell your wives that.
Yeah. That's not it either. Yeah.
Rowdy,
I had to buy LoCain a little scooter on his last leg, when he was out here because he couldn't get around. So I had to take care of my man, get him the front row parking spot. It was
gotta take care of the vets, man. Gotta take care of the vets. Yeah. Gotta look out for them.
You're supposed to take care of the young guys, but you didn't do nothing.
I think I bought suits, I bought video games case, I bought cakes. Listen, AJ Scott, every birthday,
I know you did.
I would buy cakes. For everyone's birthday, cakes. Whoever birthday it was, I bought a cake. We enjoyed it. We ate so much cake on that team. It was amazing. I enjoyed it, huh?
I know. Look, that's why it turned out like this. I used to look like you when I got over there when I got traded, and the next thing I know, out here looking like
I apologize.
Like a big show.
As soon as you get done playing, we're gonna put you on a diet and we'll get you back to that playing weight. All right.
That's about how it works. Maybe we get some hair plugs too. I don't know, man.
Hey, Rowdy.
You know what it was?
Yeah.
Lo used to sit next to me on the plane when I was playing cards, and he would sit there, and he would tie himself into the plane. He put on one seatbelt, then he'd flip up the edges on the plane and put on all the other seatbelts around him. Any sort of turbulence, man, dude, he thought the plane was going down. I used to tell him all the time, we're not going to make it, man. We're going to lawn dart somewhere. And he'd look at me and tell me to shut up, leave him alone. Man, he goes, leave me alone, man. Leave me alone. Trying to grow my crown and coat.
Yeah, well, Rowdy, you see, now he just chills in Oklahoma, barely leaves the house, and he'll look behind him and be like, "Oh, I'm in France today. Oh, yeah. I'm in Philippines this afternoon." See,
man, you know damn well you ain't teaching those boys nothing.
Hey, that's why they go to school, okay?
Man, you sitting in that desk next to them trying to learn. Showing up in your and one shoes, your jorts, and your polo collared shirt the day one of practice.
Why are you telling everybody about this, man? It's supposed to be between us. You know what I mean? Keep it between us.
Everybody knew that. I know
that
you
was
do that
first day of baseball, right?
Yes, first day of baseball. Showed up in some jorts, basketball shoes, and a collared shirt.
They stuck his ass at third base, and he said, "No, that's not for a brother. Let me go out to the outfield."
Yeah, couldn't hit a lick, couldn't feel the ground ball, but I could run. Let me tell you, I could run. And they put me at third base. The ball ate me alive. So I played third base all of 2 weeks, and they said, "Hey, go to the outfield." And that's where I made my living, AJ. That's where I made my living.
That's true. Hey, breaking news, Rowdy. By the way, you got a new teammate. Raimel Tapia signed with the Brewers. I don't know.
Raimel Tapia?
Yeah.
I played with him in the fall league. Speaking of guys that could run.
Is he going to help?
Yeah. But, we need some help. We probably need a new first baseman. AJ said we need a new first baseman one time.
Here we go again. You're right. You know what? If I show up, that's the problem. You don't want me to show up because Counts might call me in. I can't wear your uniform and be a little big on me, but I at least can show up. I'll catch it. I'll sneak in a hit or two every once in a while.
Yeah, you'd be like me in the last 10 games. You'd have 1 hit and 2 hits. You'd be perfectly fine.
I'd be cheaper.
I'll be cheap.
Probably you would be too. But that's a true story. Hey, at least I told the real story. You did come to San Francisco and you did say some shit like that.
Listen, I have not denied that. I've told that story. Colton Wong and I had the conversation. You guys need a first baseman? I can play. Rowdy's sitting right there. You got better after that, though. See, that's how us vets do it. The guy that we want to hear hears it, and then they learn. Say, "Oh shit, there's a mirror. I better look in it." And then, bam! Look at you now.
Yep, look at me now. It's gone downhill.
Rowdy, got some fan questions. So, Sean, or new country songs. Are a lot of guys afraid of flying in MLB?
Damn, Lo, they called you out like that, huh?
Wow.
Lo's super scared. I'd say there's 1 or 2 on every team that there's definitely one that does not like flying, like absolutely hates it. And then there's one that's like the undercover dude that doesn't want to say because he doesn't want to get worn out about it. But I would say there's 1 or 2 guys on every team that don't like flying.
Do you have one on your current team?
Yeah.
Would you like to reveal them?
I don't care. I mean, Wade Miley doesn't like flying. He's kind of like Lo, just likes to sit there and not really move and just hang out, relax, watch a show. But turbulence, turbulence is never fun. Kind of feel helpless when you're in the air, but yeah, turbulence is. He doesn't like it. It's pretty funny too because a lot of guys start screaming and stuff, and just makes it way worse.
I got one from Ronnie. If there was one team besides the Brewers, what team would you want to play for?
Just proximity to home, probably the Rangers. No state income tax too.
True. Not the Giants. The home.
No.
Way to hold back.
Yeah, exactly. But that was your team growing up.
That was. Doesn't mean I want to go out there. I like it. 3 or 4 days in that city is enough for me.
Hey, did you hear about what's going down in the Bay Area tonight? The reverse protest at the Oakland game. The fans are all showing up. It's actually going to be busy there, and they bought sell shirts. So people donated thousands of dollars so that they're handing out to every fan that walks in a shirt that just says "sell" because the owner treats everyone like shit.
No, I don't have social media, so I don't hear much about a lot of stuff. But that's kind of funny because I guarantee you they won't have the security to do that. Like it's going to be a mass chaos there.
Did you see one? What was it? 2 weeks ago, a fan ran on the field, ran the base. It was a kid, looked like 15-year-old kid, ran the bases, and then hopped back up to his seat untouched.
Wow.
That doesn't surprise me. We had 2 fans run on the field in one day when I was there in 19, and Jeff Nelson caught one of them, the umpire, and suplexed him. And I was like, damn. Jeff, you guys know Jeff. He doesn't say very much, and it was kind of like he just tucked his shirt back in and went about his day. Called bad balls and strikes, and that was it.
Hey, what happened this past weekend? After no one likes it, but now they've won 6 in a row and they're even beating Tampa Bay too. Did you go in the clubhouse and be like, "Well, you're all getting DFA'd"?
No, because I was one of those guys. You can't really say that when you kind of were leading the charge for that.
Were the guys dejected, or like Lo said, I would have just walked in, crack a joke, be like, "Fuck it, let's go."
A lot of guys were like, it was a little somber in there, but I was like, dude, Seabiscuit wins sometimes, Fuck.
That's a great line.
Shit just happens, man. Sometimes it's just not your day. It's not in the cards. I mean, I think they've won 6 straight something now, so it's like it happens. It's part of the game. You look at teams that win 100 and something games a year and they lose the first 3 games of the playoffs and they're out. It's just shit. It happens, man. Those guys have played long enough. AJ and Lo, you guys played long enough and been on some stretches where you guys are beating everybody, and then there's been some stretches where the worst team in baseball comes into town and they no hit you or they sweep you, and you just sitting there and you're like, all right, well, that wasn't in the cards, but fuck it, we got 100 more.
Rowdy, you have to understand, Scott didn't play. I don't know if you know this or not, but Scott never played baseball. So so like Scott is when I talk about that's why I said you guys, and then I said the 2 names of the guys that played.
Yeah, he did address you. He knows.
And Scott's like one of those guys. He's like the new wave that baseball's really easy from behind the screen, and we should be really good at it because when he played on the video game, he played really easy, and you were good. But no, he goes in the gym, he does his biceps, puts on a jersey every now and then, and goes in his room, shuts his door, and pretends he's Ken Griffey. But in reality, he's Scott Braun.
It works. It works. He's down the street.
Yeah, he was on rookie level. So
yeah,
beginner, easy.
Yeah.
I wasn't even good at baseball video games.
He plays on the level of the pitchers that you face, AJ. Everybody's throwing 87 right in your bat speed, and the game's hard.
Actually, Rowdy, there was a great line when we had Pete Alonso on. Somehow it came up like, "Oh, who would you want to face?" I could ask you this too, like, who would you want to face all time? And someone on our show was like Babe Ruth, and Pete's like, Babe Ruth probably threw dumpy 82-mile-an-hour cutters. Just like, screw that.
Yeah, I mean, anybody that AJ faced that he had a career out of, it's probably somebody that'll line up right to me.
Matt Harvey?
Who?
Matt Harvey?
Okay, we're not talking about the back half. I will give you some props. You played for
Roy
17
Halladay?
years or 18.
Pedro? Those are guys that hit well. Are they bad?
Yeah, like those. See, there was like 3 of those floating around. You get Roger Clemens, good one, nice. Randy Johnson, cool. You had 5. We have like 3 of those in a rotation everywhere we go.
Oh, here we go. You guys are so much better.
We are.
You guys are so much better now.
Dude, the fact that you don't even have to be in shape to play baseball just shows like how easy it was back then.
I'm just gonna. I'm just gonna say, kettle, meet the pot.
Dude, I didn't say I was in shape. I was just saying like how often guys weren't in shape back then.
Oh.
Well, drop the mic, Rowdy. We gotta let you
I
jump.
already broke one bobblehead today. If I had one of you, oh wait, you don't have one. Never mind.
Well, good luck on the AJ statue out there. Tell the guys they're doing a great job right now.
Yeah, they were just putting it up, and then they threw it in the waste management dumpster because they just figured it was fuck it, nobody wants it anyway.
Oh boy, you are something else. Let me tell you.
Hey man, hey AJ, AJ. In all seriousness, AJ, I do respect your career and everything you've done, and I just like to talk shit because you do like to talk shit, and I've heard a lot of stories about how much hell you gave young guys, and I kind of want that. I want to see what it's like.
Rowdy, listen, dude, it doesn't bother me. I promise you. I just laugh. There ain't nothing you can say that my wife ain't already said to me. Okay, so trust me, it's all good. I will laugh and I don't get mad. And
the game needs more of this.
Yeah, I agree. This is what
Can
I
I share your
I
bank account like your wife does then?
No. There's only one of those per family because if I had 2 of them, I'd have to move in with Scott instead of Scott moving in with me.
I got a
Scott lives in a 1-bedroom.
No, it's a 2 now. I upgraded.
You upgraded just for me.
Yeah, Orlando's a lot cheaper than New York City. Hey,
is that Yellow? Yellow started hitting some homers.
He did yesterday, 2 days ago.
Did he? 2 days ago.
Yeah, we lost those still.
Oh.
All right, well, go get him tonight, Rowdy. Go do your thing, man. Good to catch up. We'll get you again in a few weeks.
All right, we'll see y'all. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Rowdy.
All right, Rowdy.
Good shit. And connection saved. Actually turned out great.
Yeah, I mean every time.
Because he's on the field.
No, but he's always on the field because they all hate him.
Gamer.
They must hate him in the clubhouse.
That's him to a T. That's him all day, every day. That's Rowdy right there.
It makes me laugh because he comes on and tells these stories and he just tells lies about everybody. Just total lies.
He doesn't stop. He will keep going and going and going. I love him, though. I love him.
That's great.
It makes me laugh.
It's great for the
people,
team.
Again, people are like, "Oh, you probably hate Rowdy." Dude, couldn't care less.
No, it's
hilarious. Makes me laugh every time.
You know how there's guys in the clubhouse that are too much. You know, I'm not going to name names where they're like, "Oh, that guy's too much." Rowdy is like, you need that every day.
You need that guy.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
100%.
I wouldn't know. I'm just guessing because I didn't play. I wasn't even great on video games. I was good at basketball and football video games, but not great. My hand-eye coordination, not up to speed. But I heard Rowdy is a great teammate.
LoCain would know. He played with him.
Yep.
Great teammate. I can't argue that one. He is a great teammate.
I'm with you. That was funny, though.
Kratzy said it.
What?
He's a great teammate.
Yeah.
Right? So.
And he's one of the best interviews.
Yeah, he's great.
We have a few new fans in the YouTube chat today that were like, is that really how Rowdy is? They're like, this is awesome. Anyway, we're ready for our next guest. Let's bring in Joe Sheehan, who has written for just about every major publication out there, covers the game on a daily basis. Check out his newsletter and all of his info, www.joesheehan.com. Great follow on Twitter as well. Joe, great to talk to you. I think we've done a few back and forths back in my MLB days, but it's been a minute because I think you were too honest, just like I was on the channel. So great to have you on here where we can just rip it and have a good time. How are you today?
Good, man. I'm glad you guys don't have a height requirement. You had Kenny on earlier. You got me on. It's great that you can see you guys put all the short people on the show.
Wait, how tall are you?
5'7".
Are you tall? You're taller than Ken.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, but come on, everybody. Yeah.
Are you taller? Wait, you're taller than Kirkjian.
We used to talk about, this is maybe 10 years ago, we used to joke about guys being GM height because you had not just all the writers, but you had a lot of like the young Ivy League types. A lot of those early on were really short. So we used to talk about, if you were 5'8" or under, you were GM height.
Okay, that's funny.
Like Andrew Friedman?
Is he that short?
Yeah. Andrew's one of the taller ones out there. I'm trying to remember who we were joking about back then. I don't think John Daniels is all that tall. I think he was one of the young guns back then. But, it's not a joke we make anymore because those guys are all smarter than us.
Yeah. Well, now they're taller too. Like David Stearns is pretty tall. Chris Young is an Ivy League guy, though he played, and he's a monster. So times have changed. All right. So Joe, let's start with the headline news of the day. The Oakland A's are kind of good this week on the field, and they are exceptional with their fan base. How excited are you to see all the pictures and videos that we're allowed to see, of course, tonight, assuming that it's all shown on the broadcast?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a cathartic moment for A's fans. And this is one of the issues that has come up a lot in recent years, not just in Oakland, but where we talk about cities not supporting their teams. And often as not what it is that the owner hasn't given them a product, a team that's worth supporting. If you look at the history of the A's in Oakland, they've drawn very well. You look back to the 70s, you look at the 80s. There was a lot of time in the A's history that they were actually outdrawing the Giants. Now, that hasn't been the case in recent years. The Giants built Oracle Park. The A's have now had a succession of owners that haven't invested in the team. But there's not a question in my mind that that city of Oakland and that whole area will support the A's if they're good. We have a lot of history that says that. So I think what we're going to see tonight is the fans coming out for, the hottest team in baseball, but also to show that, hey, look, this isn't about the fans. The fans are here if you give them something to root for. It's about an ownership group that just hasn't done that.
I want to show the tweet that you put up too, which AJ referred to earlier in the show about how much money is being spent on this situation. The A's are undefeated since the Nevada legislature went into overtime at 250 G's a day to try to force a bad bill through and steal the team from Oakland. So yes, they're undefeated. And also, Joe, so you posted this, 11 hours ago. When it convenes tomorrow, the Nevada legislature will be into its fourth day of haggling over SB1, the A's ballpark bill, at $250K a day in costs. It has spent $1 million on this issue, which is more than the A's will pay 19 players on tonight's 26-man roster. I mean, that is insane. And I'm sure people in Nevada are starting to get pretty pissed off about the situation as well. I was actually in Vegas this past weekend asking some locals about it that were at the casino. So, I mean, who knows what their status was? They might have had a few drinks in them, but I was like, hey, you excited for a potential A's team? They were like, we'd love to have baseball, but not them.
Yeah, a lot of this is people rejecting the A's themselves. And there's been a lot of comparison to the Golden Knights, I should say the hockey team. Well, the hockey team was an expansion team that came in. Because of the expansion rules and the way the NHL is set up, they were able to spend money and put a good team on the ice their first year. They ended up going to the Stanley Cup final that year. The A's are likely is not going to have that success. And, 5 years from now, the A's will certainly be better than they are today. And a lot of smart guys in that front office. But they're not going to spend money until the new park comes into play. John Fisher's made that clear. They're probably not going to be good for a few years. So you've got them playing in a minor league park. So a lot of the benefits that the Golden Knights had coming in, the A's are not going to have access to. I do think that down the road, Las Vegas will welcome an expansion team that they can call their own, much the way they did the Golden Knights. But the A's right now are not that team.
I have a fan question from Ronnie who says, why can't the owners kick out the A's owners since he is making the owners look bad? Well, you can't do that.
in the time I've been doing this, we've seen the A's, we've seen the MLB put pressure on the parking lot guy, Frank McCourt, to sell the Dodgers. That was back in 2004. They put pressure on the Wilpons to sell the Mets in recent years. There were business level issues, and those were tentpole franchises in Los Angeles and New York. Typically, the owners are going to want support for their own deals, whether it's their stadium. We've seen the commissioner put pressure on the Milwaukee government, the state of Wisconsin, to spend money on repairs that are necessary to American Family Field. All the owners are going to want support for their own particular cash grab. So I think that's why they're standing aside and saying they want Fisher to be successful here. I think eventually you end up with a problem where the team just isn't generating enough revenue. But for this particular problem, they want the A's to be solved. Rob Manfred has been very clear. He wants to get to expansion, and MLB can't get to expansion until the A's and Rays situations have been solved.
What are your thoughts on the current state of the game in terms of the owners of teams? My thing always with baseball is they matter so much more because we technically don't have a salary cap, even though some owners, of course, treat it that way, or small market teams can't mess around with anywhere near a luxury tax as it is. So do you have certain owners that you respect or really like what they're doing, and then others where you're like, this is crazy, and if we didn't have them, the game would be in a much better place?
Well, sure. There's you look in at the low end, it's easier to identify. We talk about John Fisher, we talk about Bob Nutting in Pittsburgh, and I think there's some real interesting issues coming up with as the Pirates get better now. They're building this really good young team. Is Nutting going to support them by raising the payroll? He didn't do it in the 2010s, and some really good teams ended up not being as successful as they might have been. As far as good ownerships, I'm as shocked as anyone to say that Liberty Media, owning the Braves, have been a very good steward of that franchise. They've given a succession of GMs the tools to develop talent, and when that talent has been worth paying, they've been willing to write the checks. I give the Braves a lot of credit for that. Obviously, the teams that spend a lot of money, the Dodgers can't really say a whole lot of bad about Guggenheim and the money they put into the team. Most ownership groups fall in the middle, but at the extremes, I think that there are some ownerships that do better for their fan bases than others.
So you're talking about extremes here. You have the Mets, right, on the other end.
Mm-hmm.
Would they? And I know Steve Cohen has come out and said we're never going to sell. We're still in it. But would he? Would he possibly move a Max Scherzer? Would he possibly move somebody to clear some space for another round of spending, possibly next year?
Absolutely. I mean, it's still June 13th. There's 6 weeks to the trade deadline. We'll see how the Mets play. I think at this point, it's going to be very hard for them to chase down the Braves. The Braves are just very good. But that wild card race in the National League is going to be a muddle. Remember last year, the Phillies got in with 87 wins, if memory serves. You had the Padres and Brewers there with 86 and 85. It's going to take that kind of number this year. I think it's going to be very hard for the Mets to fall out of a race where the wild card teams are only going to win 85 to 89 games. But if they were to do so, Cohen put Billy Epler in a position to make decisions. Billy Epler's a smart guy, didn't really have a good situation in Anaheim. I think he's in a better spot now. And if he goes to Cohen and say, hey, look, we can't get it done this year. Let's put our focus into 2024. I think we'll do that. One thing I will say, though, is I don't think the Mets will go into a full rebuild. If you look at every decision they've made the last couple of years, it's been with this window of 23 and 24. I think they try to improve the 24 team, but I don't think they go into a tank mode, a rebuild mode, looking for 25 and beyond. They're still going to have a short-term focus.
Who do you think's on the hotter seat, Buck Showalter or Billy Epler? Only because as a GM, you are giving all of the resources. And for Billy, I mean, it's not been a long time for him, of course, but the pieces aren't there right now for a championship team, even though they've spent a lot. And I will say, tough situation with the Angels because you have a helicopter owner there in Artie Moreno, but he had one of the worst off seasons at one point. You remember that off season? It was Matt Harvey, Cody Allen. There was like 5 or 6 others that were combined like close to $40 million. I think that was the offseason that they could have gotten Cole instead, and they didn't go up to the number that the Yanks had. So not to shit on one guy, but I'm saying, like, if this continues for the Mets, someone's going to take a fall, and I'm not sure it should be Buck.
Well, yeah, I mean, Buck won 101 games last year. The fact that it ended up being a tie for the division, they had to play in the wild card race, the first time a tie had not been settled on the field in baseball history. I don't really think I can hold that against him. Typically, the order of events is the GM fires the manager and gets that one more year. So typically, Epler would fire Buck, and then, Epler would get 1 year under whoever takes over the job. Maybe AJ gets the job, and they'd see if they won next year, and then you'd fire the GM. Firing the GM and keeping the manager in place is the more unusual thing to do.
I'm all in. Hire me. GM?
Can I be your assistant?
I was going to say, can Scott be the bench coach?
He doesn't know anything about baseball. So how are we going to – well, I mean, there's guys that do it anyways that don't know anything. So, yeah. Cool.
Are you kidding me?
So, sure, Scott, why not?
I mean,
you can
I
make
know
a
more
good
about
living
baseball.
In this game, not knowing anything about baseball.
Exactly. That might actually help you in some cases. Lo, go ahead, Lo.
Yeah, I know we're talking about everybody selling, but do you have a favorite team that's under the radar or a small market team that you see buying at the deadline?
There's a lot of talk about the Guardians possibly trading Shane Bieber. There's been talk about the White Sox being sellers. That's another division where I don't think there's going to be enough of a gap between the top and these, below 500 teams to put them in selling position. You go back with the history of the White Sox. I think, AJ, this was even before you were there in 1997. They made a traded a couple of their starting pitchers when they were 3.5 games out of first place. And
95? Was it 95?
97, I think it was.
97,
Wilson Alvarez,
white flag
maybe
sale?
Danny Darwin. Yep, white flag, exactly that. Teams don't want to be in that position, especially now. It's so much easier to make the playoffs. I look at that AL Central and this idea that the Guardians or the White Sox are going to sell. I think they're more likely to buy or to do the Guardians thing where you both sell and buy. The White Sox are a team. They played pretty lousy baseball. They had 2 horrifying losses over the weekend. I don't think that they're going to be sellers because they're just not going to fall that far off the pace. We have a chance. It's not likely, but we actually have a chance to have a sub 500 team in the playoffs this year.
Wow.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's a bad thing. The nature of baseball, like if a sub 500 team makes the NBA playoffs, they generally get waxed. A sub 500 team in the MLB playoffs, look, man, it's the nature of baseball. Best of 5, best of 7, the lesser team often wins. So if you were to put the 80 and 82 White Sox into the playoffs, they wouldn't be that large an underdog to, I'm trying to think who they play in the first round, whoever the number 6 wild card would be, the Blue Jays or the Yankees or the Orioles. It's just the nature of the game. So I think in 94, the year that was ended by the strike, the Rangers were actually 10 games under 500, leading the AL West at the time of the strike. Had that season been played out, we almost certainly would have had a sub 500 team in the playoffs. And that, I think, would have changed this conversation a lot.
Hey, Joe, I love following you on Twitter. There's so many, even I'm just like looking at some of his recent tweets. Like I'll just bring one up for AJ because AJ's kind of newer on Twitter, but he's very much embraced
Run
it.
away,
yeah.
AJ.
He's running right into it head first as he always does.
Me laugh. It really makes me laugh.
Wait, I'll give you one, right? Because spanning a different sport, Joe said, I think it was last night, is Angel Hernandez calling this Nuggets Heat game? So question for you, because you're opinionated and I love to read your stuff. If you're commissioner for a day, and it could be on any topic, it could be rules, it could be business, whatever it is, it could be expansion, realignment, whatever, what would you do?
I'd give the commissioner a $50 million bonus.
Because he's been that good?
No, because I'm the commissioner for a day.
Oh, because you're the commissioner.
Oh.
Okay. And then
$50
fine.
million bonus.
Done. We can do that. The league's rich. And then what else you do? You got to actually do one thing to impact the sport. What do you want to do?
I would eliminate local revenue sharing. One of the biggest issues baseball faces right now is that these teams can simply lose and still make money. And that's been one of the things driving this A's situation, driving the Pirates and Royals and Reds. I understand the need for some level of revenue sharing, but we've gone too far with it, with teams basically just being subsidized and fan bases being forced to watch losing baseball because losing baseball can be profitable. We've got to find a system that forces teams to try to win, no matter where they play.
And you know what? And that's a great call. I feel like there's such an obsession on the opposite, right? Of making sure let's penalize the teams that are spending too much, right? You've even seen, I think, owners this past offseason when Steve Cohen was going off again, spend-wise, they were starting to get public about comments. They weren't straight up saying, hey, this guy's bad for the game, but they were close, right? Like we can't mess around, with other teams and good for him, all of that. So to me, it's so focused on the teams on that front versus, hey, let's get rid of the crap at the bottom and what they're doing. So I like that a lot. Joe, thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy this game tonight. We're very excited to see and hear everything going on there because they've even got the orchestrated chants, which AJ is very excited to hear. Sell the team. Imagine
I just
if you were
want
at
to
the
see.
plate.
I want to see what they show on TV,
The coverage.
And then I want to see on Twitter and Instagram what the fans' view of it.
Yeah, it's a
I want to see how different it's going to be.
Well, like Joe knows. Like Joe, you have to watch tonight's game with social media wide open. Like this is when social shines because people will be at the game and they will give you what is actually happening. It's not like, Oakland TV or like MLB highlights are just going to be like, check out the real story at the game tonight.
Yeah, I don't think so. There was an issue a couple of weeks ago with the game being edited, some highlights being edited. I don't think that'll be even possible tonight. If they don't have 54,000, maybe they have 40,000 there. It's going to be 40,000 people with signs and decked out, wearing the T-shirts. It's a part of the story tonight. You can't ignore it.
Yep, I'm with you. It's going to get, I think, a ton of global sports coverage too, because they don't even know, like the ESPNs of the world. But like once they see it, they're going to be like, "Oh shit, this is
we should
crazy."
put a jump on this.
Yeah, exactly. So, Joe, thank you again. Appreciate it. Enjoy the game later.
It's a great show, guys. Thanks a lot for having me.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. Joe Sheehan, and you can follow him, like I said, at Joe_SHEEHAN. And also he's got a great newsletter, joesheehan.com. We got locks to do. And we had a hot night. Your BetMGM locks of the day for Tuesday. And first we'll backtrack. You won. It was close.
Frankie covered me.
Same game parlay. You hit 9.
Over under 5-4. That's a winner.
How many Ks for Granke?
4.
4? Wow, you sweat it out in both fronts.
Thank you, Ellie. Ellie had 2 of them. So
true.
Ellie.
So did I. Cincinnati won, and it was not easy. They were losing early. They tie it up. They end up winning late. There was a lot that had to happen to make it happen, but you got to take your dubs. And Kratzy won too. That's his thing. He goes with those same game parlays with the Ks. And even if you're even, you hit it. So Seabold and Paxton both hit their numbers. Yep. James Paxton's got a lot. Still got good stuff. Yeah.
When he can pitch, he's pretty good.
I agree. All right. So let's spin it forward. Your BetMGM locks for Tuesday as we kick up money bags. You know who's got the best winning percentage of anyone?
LoCain.
LoCain, baby. 3-1.
He picks against the Royals every time.
Don't fade LoCain. All right, Lo, you got to start. Stay hot.
Oh, I'm going to go with Scherzer under 6.5 strikeouts. Is that what it was?
Yep. 6.5 strikeouts.
Plus,
that's at his number's at plus 115.
There we go.
So under though, you're fading Scherzer's Ks because like my last start, I hit that and I hit it easy. He was like 6.5. I think he had 10. But you've got him going under tonight.
Got him going under tonight. He's been scuffling just a little bit. Just a little bit. So we're gonna go under 6.5 tonight. I think the Yankees lock it in tonight and they get to him early.
Okay. All right.
You got a K prop too.
Unconventional way. You know how.
Yeah.
It's been working for me.
It's been working.
Whatever works.
I'm not. See, I don't like that bet, but I will tell you this: I'm not touching it because Lowe's got low magic right now. Yep. I'm not touching it.
I've been doing it all year, so we're gonna keep it rolling.
Yeah. True. Stay hot. I got Burns over 7.5. Multiple reasons, but Twins strike out the most of any team in baseball. They have a strikeout problem. Burns going to get that cutter going in Minnesota. Plus, we had Rowdy on. Brewers feeling the love. I think Scott moved my Corbin Burns. Oh, there it is.
No, I didn't.
My Corbin Burns card. So anytime I got a chance to roll with my guy here, I roll with my guy. And over 7.5. It was plus 120 when I originally gave this to him, but people out there felt I was right, so they bet it down to 1.
You're a line mover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So plus 115. But Corbin Burns over 7.5. So get 8 and get out and get a win.
Again, second consecutive night, you and me are hitting on the same game in different ways. I've got Milwaukee money line. So again, I'm going to take a road dog, just like last night with the Reds. Milwaukee at plus 105. I mean, this Twins team, like you said, strikes out a ton. They don't have Gallo. They don't have Buxton. It's Corbin Burns coming off his 1 or 2 best starts of the season. And that was against Baltimore too. Mm-hmm. If Corbin's got it and the cutter's on, forget it. So, and I know it's Pablo Lopez on the other side. I just don't think it's crazy that we're at a point where Corbin Burns is pitching in a game where they're an underdog. Cause that rarely happens.
How bad their offense has been.
And it has been bad, but guess what? Minnesota's offense sucks too. And I think Milwaukee's going to change things coming off what they had over the weekend against Oakland.
I got Rowdy going deep tonight too.
Yeah.
You calling?
I'm with you.
Yeah. Getting out my burger phone. Rowdy's going to go deep. You know why? Because LoCain made fun of him. So he's going to get pissed. He's going to get one of Pablo Lopez changeups and pause it over that little thing in right field.
I like it.
So good luck to your bets tonight, everyone. And on the BetMGM Sportsbook app, Spicy Ball is your promo code, and you can get up to $1,000 back in bonus bet if your first bet loses. Sign up and deposit into your newly created account. Download the BetMGM Sports app on iOS or Android, or you can go to betmgm.com, place your first bet offer, and receive up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if it loses. And if the bet does lose, your bonus bets will be available once that wager is settled. Always bet responsibly. Gambling problem or concern, call 1-800-GAMBLER. And if you were paying attention, we do this just about every week. We had a giveaway, and this giveaway was for 5 lucky winners to take $100 in bonus bets on their BetMGM account. And those winners are right here. I don't know if I'm going to try to say all the Twitter handle names, but here they are. Jeffrey, East Coast Girl, Conrad, Carmen, and the Mad. Congratulations to all of you. The rules to enter were very simple, and good for you. Go get them with your bonus bets tonight. Congratulations. All right, we did it. Oh, and we're basically on time, too. We went way over time yesterday. So let's slap hands, shall we?
Kind of on time.
Kind of. Well, it's 3 now.
Yeah.
So we did have a fan question on Instagram. And I don't know if you want to get into it right now, because if it's a 5-minute story, we got to go. But they were like, can you ask AJ about his WWE Price is Right story? Price is Raw?
Because it was on Raw.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Do you have
what do they want to know? What are
they just, I guess they wanted you to just talk about it.
Okay.
Or give them something on it. And I was like, yeah, sure. I'll bring that up in slap hands. So they said, AJ, WWE Price is Right experience. Jake on IG asked, like, what was the experience like?
So 2008, 2009, I knew a lot of the WWE guys, still do. And one of the writers said, hey, you want to be part of the show? We're doing a show in Chicago. We had a day off. I said, sure, what's the deal? And this is when they were having guest hosts like every week. So they had all these different guest hosts. And it happened to be Bob Barker. And I said, yeah, what do you need me to do? And they said, all right, we're going to put the Price is Right name tag on you. You can Google it. It's on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And we had me, Jermaine Dye, Gordon Beckham. There was a bunch of us there at this thing. And they said, after this match, we're going to do a showcase showdown. And we're going to call your name. And you get to come out. And Bob Barker's going to come out and do, what do you bid on this prize? But he's like, make sure you say this number. Because on the screen, it's going to say this number. So say this number. And I forget whatever they were. What would you give for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for something? And I was like, 1,000. And it was 1,000. And then Santino Marella at the time wins, and it was being body slammed by Big Show. But when they announced the winner is, come on down, they announced me, the crowd went crazy because they either cheered me or they booed me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I come out, do my thing, set up, and Big Show comes out. It's cool. I got to hang out with Bob Barker.
That's sick.
It was fun.
That's cool.
It was fun.
Yeah. And then was that the first? Did that launch the career?
No, I'd already done.
You had already done stuff before. Yeah. Okay. Got it. All right. Well, there you go.
That was my foray into WWE.
Lo, we got to see you on a little wrestling action. Would you do it if they called you for a cameo?
I was a big fan of wrestling when I was little. I was Undertaker, Hulk Hogan, The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Those were my guys. So I was a big fan of wrestling growing up for sure.
AJ's got some friends. We might have to make it happen.
Yeah. Set it up.
Make it happen. Come on down to Orlando. They do a lot down here.
Will you get in the ring, though? That's the question.
I'll get in there.
Hell yeah. Let's go. Second career for Lo. We will see everyone on Wednesday. Happy Reverse Protest Day.